Ladies and gentlemen, live from T-Briz Studios, it's the Adult Baby Show.
I'm a sweet boy.
I'll let a girl suck any part of me. I mean, honestly.
It's just in my mouth, just.
Oh, like, I'll try anything once.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Except getting to work on time.
You just ruined my day. Fuck your day.
Oh, let's get the feet involved.
It's not a nut. Maybe I shouldn't say that out loud with you.
Some people
Yeah.
are absolutely
Huh?
disgusted by me.
He ain't lying.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Adult Babies Podcast, episode 282. I am B.
Chick.
I'm Ryan.
My friends. Sorry.
God, no.
We got a special guest in the house. He's back. He's a repeat offender. It's been a few years. Give it up for Ricky Grimes.
I did so good the first time they invited me back.
Oh, my God. Well, it took a few years. Because, you know, you went out and you had a kid, you went to school, you became a lawyer. Are you a lawyer yet? What's
no,
your deal?
I'm still. Well, so I wrote this on Threads.
I saw that.
My joke was
Yeah.
I wrote during the pandemic, I had a kid and I went to law school because I was so bored.
That's a great
Which is like
thread.
But I guess why do you do anything, right? Actually,
Well,
law school
those
and
are
the
the
kid,
things-
same thing where it's like you get like started, you're like, hey, maybe I'll do this. And then it's like, you can't stop. It just like keeps rolling down the hill.
You could
Having
you
a-
could stop being a law school a lot easier than you could stop being a.
Well, I can stop being a father
being
too,
a
I guess,
father.
right?
Yeah, you
It's
could do.
like-
Yeah, you could
I mean,
stop
you
doing-
could.
There's nothing in life you can't stop doing. It's just a matter of
Yeah.
how.
Yeah.
matter of effort.
You
Yeah.
could leave
Sometimes
at
it's
any time.
easier to just continue on than it is to stop.
leave.
Yeah.
Just more emotionally, I
Yeah.
guess, than anything. But that, I guess that's why.
Yeah. And how far along are you then?
With the kid?
No. Wait, when are you gonna leave?
The kid.
Law school.
I have one more semester of law school.
Ooh.
Then I have to take the bar, which
Yeah.
is a whole can of worms of itself.
Uh-huh.
And then the kid is going to be 16 months.
Wow.
So longer way to go with that one to get that to the 18. I guess the finish line is like 18, right? You get it there, and then that's,
Legally, yeah.
18 months?
Legally,
No,
you got
18
another.
years old.
Oh,
in-
18
in-
years.
in
For me,
chicks-
it'd be
if you
18
make
months.
it past
In
there.
Chick's parents' case, it's 40 years.
You got about
So-
another 38 and a half years left.
You know what's funny about this crew that I will say, you know that Instagram thing that was going around the other day where it was like post yourself at 21?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have no idea how old any of you are. You guys could be any age. It's amazing.
just-
which
it's
is a
supposed to be that
compliment
way.
and not a compliment.
Well, I
at the
took
same
place
time.
in that. I posted a picture of me.
You posted one and I was like, how old is this guy?
Yeah.
That picture looked like it was from 1976 or something.
Well, the hat.
You
yeah,
look
I,
like a different. You look like Everlast for in that photo.
I think I was in Everlast at the time. No, maybe
Yeah.
I was maybe a little bit.
So what
older than
year was that photo from?
That was 2001 because I was born in 1980. So it's always easier to tell my age.
There
So
you go.
21 was 2001, and that was a big moment in my life. That was the most fashion risk I ever was. I think if you would have panned out, I think I was wearing capri pants at the time. Yeah, I was taking a lot of risks. I
Yeah.
recently lost some weight, and I was really feeling myself during that picture.
You look great.
I was
Yeah,
going to
you
ask
did
you
look
guys
good.
for a picture. I wanted to do adult babies, all of us at 21.
That
but-
would we should have done that.
yeah.
Yeah, the trend is still. Well, I posted a picture of McLovin from Superbad. I thought that was.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
I thought that
Yeah.
was funny.
My problem is pinpointing a photo of me that I know I'm 21.
That
at.
age.
Well, this is
Yeah.
why I did it as a joke because everyone used to say I looked like McLovin, which is not.
I can
not,
see it. When
Yeah.
you say
not,
it,
you
but
know,
not like.
which is not nice. I mean, you know, people are like, you know who you look like? You're like, no, they're never like, oh,
Yeah.
Brad Pitt or something.
Yeah.
You know who does it the worst? My wife is the worst.
Oh, my
with
God.
this stuff.
To you? She's like, you know what you look like?
No, but like,
You know who you look
Yeah.
like.
blocked your
The
kid.
new,
No,
new
she'll
Troll
do,
movies comes out. She goes, you kind of look like this.
no, she'll do like this. Like girls will be talking, they'll be like, you know who's really attractive? Who I'm attracted to, and they'll be like Brad Pitt or the guy who played Elvis in that Priscilla movie, like
Yeah.
Jacob Valor, or the guy Barry Keoghan. And then my mic would be like, you know who I think is hot? Jason Biggs from the American Pie movies. And I'm like, that's not. I mean, he's not bad looking.
Yeah.
This is what. So
So she has a type.
we were watching. My daughter loves the song Iko Iko. Do you know that song?
I don't
at
know
all?
that song. Can you hum it for us?
Yeah. Iko Iko. Remember the one in from Hangover where they
Okay.
play it, where they come because they're doing. Remember when they're coming down to the casino and
Yeah.
they're doing a reference to Rain Man. So the song is from the movie Rain Man, and so we play this like montage of Rain Man where it's like a music video, but it's just like the movie clips going on and on. And you've seen Rain Man, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's one
So
of my favorites.
it's like Dustin Hoffman, who's like made to look like kind of a schlubby kind of like very persnickety fella.
Yes.
And then there's Tom Cruise wearing a 3-piece suit, looks like a hottie with sunglasses. And I go, boy, doesn't Tom Cruise look great in this movie? Like he looks so hot. Like you can understand like why he was in another movie. She's like, I actually think that Dustin Hoffman is more attractive in this
Wow.
movie. And I was like, that's
it.
I mean, it worked out for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. It did.
But I'm like, this is not flattering. It's like to be included in your type of thing.
But don't you like to be? I always liked, and I used to do a joke about this. When I act about batting, above my head
Yeah.
in my
Oh.
marriage, like being the. I like being in that position. I like,
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm saying it worked out for me.
yeah.
Like it's just not complimentary. You don't have to bring it up.
I remember the first time I ever saw you, and maybe.
Was this before you wrote the letter? Or
I was
You're gonna say
on
say
the
how
way
handsome
in.
I
I
was.
told B, I said, was
That's
Grimes
right.
the one that
Yeah, that's
Brian
right.
wrote the letter to?
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, that was the night. That was the first night I saw him. Was the next day. I think the next day or next couple of days I wrote him that letter. But
Yeah, Ryan was incredibly kind. I'm sorry to cut you off. What you were saying?
yeah, it was that. I just.
But you
and
didn't mention
and
how handsome I was, I will say.
But your wife was there, girlfriend at the time. I don't know if you guys were married at the time. but
girlfriend
this
at the time, must have been, yeah.
And you had some family there, whatever. And I remember thinking, like, oh yeah, he's he could do my act about being being married above his head.
That's hilarious.
That's a nice complimentary thing to say.
Yeah.
No, Ryan was and I think you talked about this with John Ziegler, I think. Ryan was the headliner of the first, I do stand-up comedy, whatever. The first show I ever did, Ryan was the headliner. And it was great. And then he was very complimentary to me a couple days later, which is...
This is the letter?
I
That
don't
was
know
the
if it was
first
a letter.
show that you ever did.
That was the first.
Well, that's
that was
what
the
I was
first
just
show.
gonna
Not the
ask.
first time I ever did stand up.
No,
I
but
had done
like-
open mics for months and months and months.
Yeah,
but
so that was the first.
the first show I ever
Wow.
was booked on.
Where was this?
This was at One Eye Jacks at the time.
Jacks.
Well,
Oh, One
it's
Eye-
called something else now, but
Yeah, it's nostalgia now.
and I was nostalgic for One Eye Jacks at this point.
We all.
So, and I did this. It was a bar show. I think it was Steve Rocco
Perillo.
Perillo.
Uh-huh.
He booked it, and he was kind enough to put me on it. And I went on. I think I went on later because I had like a lot of people that came to see me.
You went on right before me because I had to. You
Oh, is
did
that
so
right?
well that I had to. I started my act by talking about how good
Oh,
you
that's
were.
very nice of you to say.
Because I learned that trick from, I think Jay Moore talks about going up after Louis Anderson and like he would just crush.
Yeah.
Like it was like you just couldn't follow that.
Yeah.
So he goes, I would just have to start my act by being like, give it up for Louis Anderson.
Just
Like he would just like
complimenting.
he would
Right.
like
Yeah.
spend the first 3 minutes just being like, that guy is like is incredible. It's like to the point where people was like, all right, yeah, he was great, but let's hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
right.
So I wasn't consciously thinking that, but I was just like, yeah, let me give it up for that guy who's great. I'm like, I just feel like we should all wrap it up and go home now. Like that's as good as it's gonna get, So I really like undersold my my set, but yeah.
But you know why? How I know you were good though, and I can't remember your set, but I know you were good because when you messaged me and said like you were complimentary about my set, I was like happy because
Yeah.
I was like, this means a lot
Yeah,
because of how good he was.
Yeah.
If I thought you were like shitty, I would have been like, I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Those compliments from a comedian that you respect it's better than
It's
anything.
better than any crowd. Or, like even if you said, yeah, like if the crowd wasn't great, but I had like a comic I like being like, oh man, your stuff is great.
Yeah.
I would be like, okay, I don't care that I bombed.
Man,
But I remember I say this as somebody who is perfectly willing to admit that I have had bad nights. There's been nights where I've questioned if I've ever been funny, but I do know that
Haven't all of us? That's
I
part
do
of
feel
it.
like I did. I feel like I have a memory of being like, yeah, I had a good set that night.
absolutely,
Yeah.
But because I didn't know any other thing about
I wouldn't
you.
have messaged you if I didn't think I had a good set that night. I wouldn't have messaged someone like, "Hey, you thought you were great."
That's-
Because that would have been like, if I bombed, they're like, "Who gives a fuck what you think?"
right.
I know I'm better than you.
Right.
Like,
So when you said
I
it-
crushed, you didn't.
So when you said it, I was like, I was complimentary because you were good. So that's how I know you did good, even though I don't remember
Yeah.
the set. Now, Brendan, do you always like, when you do, because you're probably the most active comic out of all of us, not including, no disrespect, Chic. I know you did a set here and there.
He did
that
it
I-
a year ago.
I do
Yeah.
comedy. I've realized that I'm only going to do the show and a few months prep before it. So I'm like a 2-month-a-year comic.
When you say prep, you mean what?
Couple open
We'll
mics.
get him to
weekly.
some mics, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll go for like a month and a half of open mics.
Still more than me at this point. So I mean, I'm getting back. I'm about a month every month now, and then when the bar's over, I'll try and get back.
You got a
into
lot
it,
on your
'cause
plate,
it's like-
Ricky.
I feel like
certainly do.
when the bar's over and you become a lawyer, that's not going to make for less time. It's going to be just as busy. No?
Well, no, because now I'm doing work and school, so it's like morning and night.
Oh,
so then I'll just
okay.
have morning, like
All right,
day,
fair
and then
enough.
the night evenings will be free. So it'll
No,
be,
that's true.
It'll be okay. But Brendan, I was gonna say, when you are doing shows and stuff, do you like when somebody comes up, they're like, "Hey, great set." Do you always, if they're another comic, do you always say "great set back" even if they didn't do good, or do you say something else?
I do, yeah.
You do,
Yeah.
because I noticed that
For the most part.
I always will do, if I don't think they had a good set, I'll always say,
Thank you.
"Good to see you."
That's good.
So
I never say. I think it's messed up.
I'm going back in my
can
memory.
I tell you how much I agree with your view over his? Because
Yeah.
he's nice and he just can't help. And yours is still nice, but it's not lying.
Right. I think it's fair. Right.
I'm in a complete agreement with you.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel bad for anybody that might hear this. They go, he said, good to see you to me.
That's what I'm.
But
Well, it's not. It's
but
just tonight.
I'm putting in my
Also-
memory. I'm like, did
Right.
Ricky ever say "good to see me" after a show?
No, I don't think so.
But yeah, no, I would never,
I
I would
definitely had a good
never
to see you.
tell
Yeah.
somebody that I thought they had a good set if they didn't.
No,
but I feel
you
like
can't.
it's like when you're talking, handing out opinions or compliments. If you just throw them out, then they become meaningless. Like if you say good set every time somebody gets off stage, like I remember one comic who I don't like at all, but I remember one night
There's a lot of those out there, aren't
yeah,
there?
no,
Yeah, there certainly are.
But one night, I remember I was watching him like, oh, he had like this was a particularly good setup. This joke was really good, and I told him afterwards, and he told me how good it was. Like, thank you so much. You know, really,
Yes.
like you're somebody that it's good, nice to hear that from because I know you don't hand out compliments. So it's like, yeah, if you're more, if you a little more, you know,
So
selective
I was just gonna
with
say,
your
yeah.
compliments, then
Okay,
they become
all right.
more powerful.
That's right. That's my.
But here's the thing: if it's a newer comic, and maybe they didn't have a great set, but it was okay.
You saw something in there, a
but
nugget of.
But like, doesn't I would rather be the guy to be like, keep going.
But
that
that's
was
different
good.
than what you're saying.
that's what I was going to say.
That's
Keep
different.
going is different
It's
than
different.
good
and
set.
also, and by the way, I'm nobody to give any sort of critique
No,
about anybody.
you're somebody.
But what I would do in those circumstances, even if somebody has a bad set, if they do have something that I like, I will say, I like that bit you did about this. That was really good.
Yeah.
That I like. I'll just be not that I'm saying
Yeah.
it was bad. I'll never say it was bad. I'll just say what I think I liked about it, or I'll say nice to see you. Because sometimes they
Yeah.
stink, and I don't like them also.
Yeah,
Because then
yeah.
you just go nice to see you,
Yeah.
which is also a
That's
lie.
also that's the kindest lie.
You're
yeah.
still lying, but yeah.
Yeah.
But
And by the way, I've gotten a
You
good
can be like,
nice to
"Hey,
see you to
you're
me.
there. Hey,
nice to see you.
I just don't believe that you should. I think that the biggest issue is that people get false hope because they get false advice. Like,
Yeah, they'll
great-
figure it out
they-
eventually.
No,
They'll figure out it's not for
Some
them.
people don't,
Neil
and
and
they
I-
think they're better than they are because of that. If they always come off stage and all the comments like, "Yeah, good set," they're like, "Yeah, I'm."
But this is the other thing, Chick, and that a lot of times no one saw the set. That's
Yeah.
the other thing.
Well,
So-
that
Yeah,
is-
I
That's the
do.
other
blind. Good
If I'm
set.
at a club and somebody saw my set, if it's later in the night, I'll say that just because I don't know. If an open mic is different. It's like a real show or an open mic.
yeah, absolutely.
You know, but for an open mic, there needs to be those people. Unfortunately, you know, you
course.
just need those people that are going to suck. They
Yeah.
just
yeah, but you don't have to tell them good set.
Neil and I went to an open mic a couple weeks ago around here, local, and there was like two people on this open mic that literally shouldn't ever talk into a microphone. And I would never say this, but I wanted to bring them aside. Like, listen, like, don't like you're wasting everybody's time here. It's painful to watch you. Like, you can crush somebody's. Like, it's just
Yeah.
just mean to
Well,
say to
Brendan's
somebody.
saying, which is-
but I feel like you. Like, I want to tell them, like, just don't do this ever again.
Yeah.
Like, don't. You don't belong here. Like,
Norm used
you
to
don't
do
know
that.
what funny is. You've never even been near funny.
Norm MacDonald would do that exact thing on Last Comic Standing when he was the judge.
Yeah.
And he would be like, please stop doing comedy. And the guy would be like, you mean I should go home and like work on it? And he's like, no,
forever.
stop
Stop
doing
yeah.
this. It's not, no disrespect. It's not your,
Yeah.
it's not in your
I
skill
just feel
set.
like you also need those people, and maybe they're not doing it for the reasons that I'm doing it for. Some
Right.
people just need a night out, but like
Yeah.
Some of these
Yeah.
people.
No, I know that. Yeah.
that's where I factor in some
These
of
people
that.
fill out the mics. You need people to listen to.
You need
for
some
God's
people.
sake.
So
At
many
open
people to
mic,
laugh.
open mic. This is
Yeah,
open
yeah.
mic. Shows are different.
Yeah.
Shows are different.
But I don't
Shows,
disagree with what you're saying that you need them, but I just don't. I like giving people false hope or ever complimenting somebody who doesn't deserve a compliment.
Yeah.
I'm totally about being polite and nice. Like, hey, you know,
Correct.
keep it up.
Right.
Keep going.
Well, keep
Like,
it up.
keep
Keep
it
it
up.
up.
Keep it up is not bad. That's a
up's
nice.
good.
That's a nice
You know,
generic.
Keep working.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good to see you trying.
Okay, but haven't
And again,
haven't-
I want to for everyone listening, which is the and what do you call your audience? The
Oh,
the,
yeah.
The babies?
Question.
I was
That is
think-
a good
I was
question.
driving over here. I thought, what if you call them like the babysitters because they're watching the babies?
Oh, babysitters.
See, you know, you. This is why
What?
you're going to be a lawyer.
That ain't
You're
bad,
smart.
right?
I
They're
like
watching
that.
the or
Babysitters.
the daycare. Or
That's
something like that.
I
Yeah.
like the babysitters.
Yeah.
They're
I
sitting
thought
there.
you was
They're
calling
watching us.
mommies and daddies out there.
Mommies and daddies.
They're watching the babies. But anyway, for all the babysitters out there watching,
He's gonna that's it. We're
That's
doing
it.
it.
for all the
Running with
babies,
it.
which I am as well. I'm a nobody, so this is just my thing.
Stop!
Yeah,
Can you
I
stop
know that,
calling
but,
yourself
like,
a nobody?
I'm
We're
a
all
nobody, and I
nobodies
give
in the
out
Grizz.
plenty of opinions.
But I
You
haven't
are
even.
far
But I'm not
more-
even.
He said the same opinion 3 times.
Well,
in
that's
this way.
true.
But you are funny enough to for your opinion to be valuable. I
think-
don't think you need to be a professional
it.
comedian to
No,
to have
that's very true.
to have a strong opinion on what you think is funny and what comedy is.
If you watch enough of it and you're an actual you're a follower of comedy, you can have an opinion. I
Right.
agree with that.
You're 100%.
Yeah.
Ryan doesn't love my opinions on comedy. We don't agree on a lot, but we
Is that
agree
right?
on some.
Definitely not.
On certain people,
Yeah.
we don't agree on.
yeah.
What's your thoughts on it? Andrew Schultz.
Well, I mean, listen, this is one of those things like I'm going to say something bad about Andrew Schultz, and then in like 5 years, I'll be like trying to get somewhere, and then he's
Yeah.
going to crush me because I'll be like meeting
Yeah.
him at like a VMA party for the.
Yeah, he'll never see
interview.
this. Don't worry.
I will say nothing about his comedy because I've actually never seen it. I honestly never watched
Yeah.
it, but he maybe has the worst haircut I've ever seen in the
The,
history.
the haircut is pretty.
I mean,
brutal.
what? I don't
That's
even
a
know what.
fact.
Like, what do you
What's
even?
his goal?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's like shaved now. I can say this. You guys sound just envious, but because you have no
Yeah.
hair. But for me, it's like I don't know how you're trimming it way up here, and then he's got
It's
it's
almost
no
like
sideburn.
He's
Have you
trying.
seen it?
He's trying to start his own new thing.
It's
Every
wild.
time I see it, I go, he wants this to catch on. He wants to be. I was doing that first.
Yep.
Nobody else is doing this haircut.
And nobody's gonna.
And then,
Yeah.
I don't think he's a
big
good-looking
old-
guy. I just like his crowd work. I find him funny.
All right, fair enough.
Well, we're about
So,
looks. All right, chick.
Yeah, I don't want to get on him.
So-
It's just funny.
So he knows that Rick knows that I was complimentary to him.
Yeah.
Yes.
He knows that much.
Right.
He doesn't know that I was in a relationship for a couple years with another comic, and we had a very
I was gonna say my wife.
tumultuous.
Yeah, what
we
are
had a
you-
very,
I'm
very,
We're really coming
we're
clean.
very
I'm not
I'm afraid what he's gonna say.
we had a very unhealthy relationship. A lot of jealousy involved
heard
there
about
with other,
this.
with other people. Just a lot of down to the point that I would talk about you a lot because she was a comic and she wanted me to think she was funny. But I would always reference how funny Ricky Grimes was, and she used to get so annoyed every time I brought up. She goes, "Enough of this fucking Ricky Grimes! I can't stand listening about it."
Home record.
And I'm like, so you think you also want to be the funniest person in the scene, you know? And I just feel like if you had any idea how
But how would
often
that
you
come
would
up?
like.
How would that? You'd be like,
We would just be talking about comedy, and like she would be going over jokes. Like she would be telling a joke, and then like I don't know, it would come up like, oh, I want to go see the show. Like we went to go see you one night. Like I was going to see you one. I said, you should come hang out. Like I want to
Yeah.
see Ricky Grimes is performing at Lithology.
yeah,
So I brought her with me,
big show.
and yeah,
Was
But-
I on that show?
Headliner.
yeah, you were there, yeah,
Ah,
and
Were you on the show? That's a big lineup.
it sounds like a big one.
Yeah.
Was I on the show?
yeah, yeah. I think you were.
I actually
there.
love those.
Yeah.
I actually really love those shows. Please.
They were fun.
So yeah, we just talk about comedy, and I just I would bring up local comics that I liked, and I don't even think she didn't disagree with me. Like I think she also thought you were funny, but I think she's the hate like because her style was so much different than yours. So she,
I don't even
so, yeah. So I'm like, well, I like more like like a Ricky Grimes type of comedy show. Oh,
My style is more meandering, is what I would call it. It's just kind of
yeah,
lays out
I like old school observational comedy. Like I just like to me that is the most entertaining form of comedy. You know.
yeah. That's well, it's very
Like-
nice.
Like
Thank you. All
I
very
would
nice.
never say like did you ever notice is as a phrase is a little played out, but that idea of comedy.
I'm not exactly chick. I'm not a political comic, really. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not a. I'm not a-
What, do I come off as I like political
no, I'm
comedy?
just saying because I don't think you've seen. I don't think you see me.
I
don't think you've
loved you.
seen-
You did our show.
Oh, that's right. I did. Okay, you're right. You're
Stop.
right. I just
I'm a
didn't know
big
if you-
fan of yours.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
He's always been a big fan.
Yeah, I remember after the show he
lot
said,
of-
"Nice to see you."
A lot of
to have
times
you.
his mom is like, "Chick, enough with the goddamn Ricky Grimes."
So I don't want to. I might keep moving. You watched Mission Impossible?
Yeah. Did I watch it? Yes. I got home early from work today. I had to take a
Okay.
half a day to watch this goddamn
Did you
movie,
feel
by the way.
obligated to watch it before
He watched
the
it
podcast?
more than us
Yeah.
because he paid attention. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh, I paid
I
attention.
paid attention for the most part. I just checked my phone a couple times throughout it.
You
yeah.
got to be kidding me right
Oh
now.
my god! All right,
So for the folks
you're
at
blocking.
home,
You're blocking.
blocking.
Yeah, you're
That's
blocking
a-
what the.
There
Which-
you go.
Yeah,
for the
I wish that headset blocked my eyes from that movie.
for the folks at home,
just listening, not on YouTube. Yeah.
for the babysitters on the nanny cam. We'll call it. Last week on the show, there was some discussion of the most recent Mission Impossible movie where Chick and I actually, you know what's funny? I was actually because are you on Letterboxd, Chick?
I never heard of
Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Letterboxd.
I don't know what this is.
You don't know what it is? Okay, so it's a I guess it's a social media site where all you do is you log movies you've watched and you put a review, or you can, and you put a star rating. You never heard of this?
No, I'm in.
You should absolutely do it.
Yeah, it'd be fun to have you on there.
You put it on.
You're on this, right?
Yeah.
Because of Ricky, he used to post screenshots, and I'm like, oh, where's this letterbox? So I checked it out because of his posts, and I started a account.
Are you active
okay.
on it?
It's
Like,
a-
do you?
Yeah, every
Okay.
time I watch, no, I might have missed occasional movies, but all the movies we've watched this year, I've put on there. Last year when I did like 3 months. I watched a movie every day.
Yeah.
I did every movie. I posted on
Oh,
Letterboxd.
Well,
wow.
you can do it's great. You can make like you basically have a diary of the movie you watched,
That's what I
what day
like
you
about
watched it, the star rating. You can write a little as long a
It's
review
like a memory
as you want.
for me.
I wish that I had this literally since day one. I wish I had a log of every movie I've ever
Fantastic.
Everything,
watched.
yeah.
It's my
Search-
favorite social media site.
Is there a
That's
way
really
that you could
interesting.
search what, like, have I seen Mission Impossible, and then I
Well,
type in
yeah.
Mission Impossible, and I see that I did see it.
I've done it a few times where I go,
I
did I
need
see
this.
It's a
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
because
app.
it'll show your review. It'll show or your rating. It'll say, it'll come up with your rating on the.
I need this.
And you can make lists, so you can be like wanna watch, put it on your list of movies you want to watch, and that way you can like pull it up if you want. Oh, what movie you want to watch tonight? You can put. Anywho, with all that being said, Ryan, I saw logged the most recent Mission Impossible before I heard the pod. 1.5 stars is what he gave out of 5 is what
Yeah.
he gave the most recent Mission Impossible movie. It sounds like you would have agreed with that.
wholeheartedly.
Yeah. Now you watched the most recent movie. Now, and on the pod last week, you said, I wish someone could come on to explain these movies because I don't really understand why people like them at all. And so I was
I
listening and I
get
said,
why people like them. It's just not my thing.
well, let me ask you this. How many of them have you seen?
I will say I saw the first 2 to 3.
Okay.
Stopped until this one.
Okay. You?
This is the first one I ever saw.
Okay.
I've never seen a Mission Impossible.
I might have seen one when I was younger. I definitely saw one, or like one of the early
What's
ones.
the one
but-
that came out around GoldenEye? That was called GoldenEye.
No, that's James Bond.
James Bond, yeah.
Never mind.
You may have never seen another one of these
No,
movies.
I've seen
James
Mission
Bond.
Impossible.
I remember the one where he's on a.
Yeah, when he comes down.
Yeah,
and he's
that's
like,
one.
That's the first one.
That's the first one.
All right, that's the first one.
I'm
That's what I
positive I
watched.
saw that one. No, thank
I'm
you.
okay.
If it was a Dr. Pepper, maybe. But I'm
No, I'm
joking.
good.
I'm
Thank
all
you.
right.
I don't know if that was a bit or something. But
My whole life's a bit.
that was them offering a root beer. Like
Ryan
that
in the middle. Can I get anyone a root beer?
I thought he was going to go to the fridge.
That has never happened in the history of Ryan being on this podcast.
Here's the thing. I bought root beers for the Super Bowl. This is like my favorite drink,
Yeah.
but I don't drink it a lot. So I just remember
Actually, I
that.
have one.
I
Actually,
just
I'm trying
remember,
to make you.
Did you?
Yeah, actually, I thought it was a bit, but now,
Now
actually,
is
kind of
is mug root beer your favorite
Yeah,
root
yeah,
beer?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is
Do
this
you-
a sponsor or something?
No, I just
Yeah,
love.
we're
I love
sponsored.
root.
Do you
Yeah,
like
I
it
don't
more
drink-
than
I don't drink-
A&W?
Mug root beer.
Well, it's my favorite, so
That's-
yes,
that's fair
It's
enough.
hard to squeeze one above above favorite. Yeah.
Yeah.
As I was saying that, I'm like, he's going to make
Yeah,
fun of
yeah.
me for this comment.
Mug.
drink a lot of soda.
Mug is a good. It's by the way, Mug Root Beer is a proud
Great.
sponsor of the Adult Babies podcast.
All right, for all the babysitters out there watching on the cam.
Yeah.
The babysitters, that's it. That's sticking.
By the way,
No, it's the
cam has become
babysitters.
like a dirty thing, though. You know, it used to be like we have to call it a monitor, a baby monitor. Because if we just call it a cam,
Oh,
they're gonna
yeah.
think it's like a sexual thing. Which nothing wrong with
You're
that.
right about that.
Babysitters
Baby
too
cam,
can be
yeah.
sexual.
It's got to be. No, yeah, baby
So if
cam
you're
is
on
out.
like girls are, like I'm on cam, we don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So we'll call it a monitor.
Yeah. Monitor.
That's what I
All
have
right.
in my baby monitor for my child. So you guys have never seen.
I watched the first one because I saw the one when he was on a string.
Dun-dun-dun,
I knew the
There's a
music.
string. Was it a string or a cable?
Guy has one sip of root beer.
I'm drunk.
He turned into fucking Homer.
String. By the way,
You're really a mess over there.
well, here's the
I don't drink a
problem.
lot of these. I'm flying high immediately.
Ricky Grimes, your beloved Ricky Grimes is disagreeing with you on
Yeah.
it, and you're spiraling right now.
I wanted to like me so much.
Well, you know what's interesting is that Ryan and I agree.
Getting lightheaded,
Yeah.
need some sugar.
Ryan and I agree on most things in terms of popular media, but on movies, we actually get it. We're actually way off most just on Letterboxd reviews.
Were you just about to say he actually gets it wrong?
No, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Because this is
Because
what I
that's
want.
what he would say about you.
Because I want to preface it, because I don't think that anybody is wrong, like with the Mission Impossible thing. No, I'm not going to try and say you're wrong about it. What I'm going to do is add some context.
I want to know why. Yeah,
Let's
I want
get
to know why
that
you
context.
like. I want to know
So,
why
I
you
wanna
like
hear.
it. Yeah.
The thing about that movie that you watched, The Dead Reckoning, which is also a fantastic name, by the way. I don't know if you guys are giving that any credit, but that's fine.
I'm not. I thought it was stupid the whole time.
No, I don't know what it means, but it sounds
Dead
badass. That movie is the most self-referential of all of the Mission Impossible movies. It's one of the movies in that series that like plays into the lore. Every other movie except for that in the entire series you could watch with nothing else, and it would just be you could watch it
Stands alone.
This movie is the only one that's really self-referential.
Wasn't they reference like Ghost Protocol, which was that another?
That was a different
That was
movie.
another movie, but don't they reference that in this movie?
They reference a couple of different things, and also they don't give you a lot of backstory to like you walk in and you got Luther, Ving Rhames, and Simon Pegg, and they're just there, and so you folks must have been like, all right, they're not gonna. Who the hell are these guys? They're just hanging out. This is his
Yeah.
team. There's no introduction. This has been like in the last like couple movies. It's kind of been building to like that being the team. So if you don't see any of the movies, you're like, who are these guys? Why are they there? There's also a couple of like zags of like this is how these movies normally go, and they're playing on that, and it's not happening. But if you don't know what the reference is, it just seems
Okay,
weird.
so
now that doesn't make it better.
Well, it does make it better if you're a fan of the franchise.
Right.
I'm not. So I feel like if I'm
which ones have you
if I'm
seen?
criticizing nothing. I've never
How
seen
are you not
any.
a fan of the franchise?
What's that?
How are you not a fan of the franchise if you haven't seen it?
Well, I'm just not a fan of that genre,
Okay.
and I'm not a fan of it. I'm not saying I hate it. I'm saying I'm not a fan
So
of
when
it.
you
I'm
say
taking
that,
my
what
way.
do you-
I'm taking
what
myself
do you
out
mean
of.
by that genre?
I don't like action adventure.
Okay.
Like I just don't like. We talked about like I'm just get bored by a chase scene. Nothing bores me more than a chase scene.
So you love that movie, The Chase? When this whole thing is
I
a
don't
chase
know.
scene,
So you
they're
don't-
fucking in the front seat.
You don't like Fast and Furious, probably, or any of
No,
those
I saw
types
the first one of those and decided I never needed to see another one. I just watched Indiana Jones with Neil the other night. That's one long chase scene.
The
That's,
newest one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like that's a game of like, oh, you got the thing, no, I got the thing.
It's a
No, you
game
got the
of
thing, no, I got
cat
the
and
thing.
mouse.
Yeah,
Well,
it really is.
that's exactly what. So now here's where me and him differ. I don't hate action movies. Certain ones I need a little bit more, but like the Indiana Jones, I appreciate the nostalgia of it's an Indiana Jones movie.
Right.
I didn't like this one because I'm kind of over them. I think they should just stop making them.
I think Harrison Ford would agree with you.
Yeah. So that's the only
like,
reason
please,
why I
Doesn't
don't
in
like it.
at that movie at one point he looks at the camera and he's like, I don't know.
Exactly.
He takes a knee to like take a breather for a second.
I just like I was entertained for like it was cool with some of the Indiana Jones stuff, but like the movie itself wasn't good.
I think
But I don't hate action movies.
So the
Yeah.
thing about Mission Impossible that I like about all the movies, between one and this movie.
You've
which I
watched
think you
every
got,
one, I presume.
I've only seen two once. Like all the other movies I've seen many a time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I love-
guy's got a hat.
I love. Oh yeah, for the folks at home.
The
that are
tag's still on
listening.
it though, so I'm
Well,
wondering how
it doesn't really fit my
wondering
head.
how
Well,
dedicated
it looks
is.
well worn. Yeah.
But, yeah.
Where'd you get that hat?
At eBay.
You bought it on
That's
eBay?
the problem with eBay buying is
Yeah.
they never fit like you want them to.
Yeah, my head is not, small as a technical term. So, Mission Impossible is basically about Tom Cruise basically metaphorically wanting to be the hero in his own life and then also in the movie. And he can basically do anything. He's a superhero without superpowers. Ethan Hunt can do anything at any time. There's one scene in one of the other movies where the whole thing is he's holding a guy hostage because the terrorist wants the codes to a bank. That way they can get the money. And there's like 15 code numbers. Tom Cruise finally gets the bank codes, the paper that has him after this big elaborate scheme. What he does is, to go to the hostage thing, he memorizes all 15 bank codes, like looks at them, burns the paper, goes to the hostage negotiation, and they're like, where are the passwords? And he's like, I am the passwords. I have them all here, and I'll tell them to you if you release the thing. Now, Ryan is not impressed by that.
No, I think that's a fun turn in a movie.
But I'm saying there's a lot of this like cleverness of like, how is he going to pull this off? There's also a lot of like wigs and masks. There's a lot of like real practical.
That's
like,
what I enjoy. I like the first
yeah.
Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the first one where you think he's somebody like this one, and maybe it's because I didn't see all the other ones.
It sounds like that was our problem with this one.
So clueless about it
Yeah.
that I got turned off by it so quick.
Yeah.
That must have been it.
Are we? The movie in front of you needs to stand on its own. Does it
Agreed.
not like
Agreed.
Yes.
unless they're advertising it by being like, this is a culmination of other movies, and it won't make as much sense unless you want. Like, you need to advertise that beforehand.
Agreed.
If that's what you're doing.
You guys
so.
are not wrong about that.
Yeah.
100%. The thing that I like about these Mission Impossible movies is that it's literally in the name, which is just like, Tom Cruise is going to win at the end of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like he's not for 98% of the movie, but then twist, he had it under control the whole time.
But you know he's gonna win.
But that's what I like about them, because I need that. Like, it's fun to have this kind of like optimism. Like, it's fun to have like this thing at the end of the movie where we're just like, I'm not worried, I'm in safe hands here. And I'll get a little worried, but I know Tom Cruise is gonna. It's a feel good movie.
But do you ever? This movie could be called like 3, 2, 1. All right, you got it. That's like because whenever there's like a countdown, is like I'm never like, is he gonna get it? He's gonna get it. Or
Yep.
So
I'll get it a little bit. I'll be like, oh, maybe he's gonna, maybe, and then.
but come on.
I want to see one where he gets it, but he gets played at like he got it, but what they wanted him to get is like,
well, what I would
I
recommend.
need a bad end. I need a gloom and doom. I like the bad guys to win in my movies.
But now, Ryan, similar.
That's my issue.
No. I think I like a good guy to win.
Because I think this is why you may be averse to these movies, is because I like that little bit of, not all the time, but in these movies I like it. Similar movie, similar thing that I like. Have you guys seen the Equalizer movies?
No.
Denzel Washington.
I saw the first one.
Maybe I did see the first one.
I saw
Actually,
the
now that I'm
first
thinking
one.
It's
about it.
basically his version of Taken, essentially. He's like an older guy who's got a particular set of skills. There's some sort of issue, and he's going to figure it out by just basically like, young guy comes up, hey, grandpa, give me that hat. And then he just kind of flips him, breaks his arm, breaks his leg, and it's cool. And those movies are the same thing. He's going to walk through 85 people to get what it is, but it's fun to see him. Let's see how high they could stack the deck and just
It's like Die Hard. What can we get?
Never seen Die Hard. So this is how
Really?
far. Yeah, and I would like to watch it eventually. It's not like I'm not, but I loved action. I love adventure action movies when I was a kid. Commando was one of my most watched movies ever. I used to love those Schwarzenegger movies.
Predator.
True Lies, I thought was great. Like all these movies, like I do like those movies.
Right.
True
And
Lies
I
was more than just action, though. That had a good. I
Story,
thought
like
it
a
was a
plot
good
to it.
story, had good acting. I mean, minus Schwarzenegger.
yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis was good in that.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny. Like True Lies,
Yeah.
I thought was a good movie.
I wore out that
never
one.
seen it.
I wore out that one part in the hotel room.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
That part I know.
Yeah. And I think like John Wick, I thought was good because that was like a well, like the choreographed action movie. I just feel like I got to a certain point where they were like, okay, these are all the same. Like I just haven't seen anything new in this genre, which is kind of silly. And like even like I was saying, like I don't like chase scenes because I just want to know. All right, I've said this a couple times in the podcast, like. All right, if somebody's chasing, I just want to know the outcome of the chase. Do they catch up? Do they get away? That's all I need to know. I don't need to see 50 minutes of, we're almost there. Where is it? Like,
Right.
But then isn't that really just, like, I'm calling myself out for the hypocrisy. Isn't that just storytelling? Like, you're watching the movie. So, like, there's a couple. Are they going to get together? Like, you're following the journey of, like, I'm like, well, just tell me if they get together. Like, you know what I mean? It's so, I understand it's like, it's a little storytelling, but it's like little vignette stories within a bigger movie, which is a chase scene. But I'm just not, I'm more interested in the details of did they get together rather than did they get away.
In the third movie, Mission Impossible 3, which is directed by J.J. Abrams,
Yeah.
who I'm not really a big fan of.
Yeah.
It's the one with Philip Seymour Hoffman in it. Philip
He's
Seymour Hoffman
the fucking
plays
man.
the villain. So it's worth it just to watch him alone. Kind of, it's him and Tom Cruise just kind of going at it. But in that movie, the thing that the bad guys want that Tom Cruise is trying to protect is called the rabbit's foot. That's what it's called. But it's a Pulp Fiction. We never learn what the rabbit's foot is.
Like the
type
soul
thing.
in the briefcase.
Yeah, it's like we need to get it. You can't have it, but we never find out what it is because it's a it's a MacGuffin. It doesn't matter what it is. And so if you watch that movie and you're like, oh, I'm fine with that, not knowing what it is because I like the chase, I like the thing, then you're gonna like these movies.
Yeah.
If you are pissed off that you never found out what that is, then
Yeah,
this
I'm okay with that.
yeah.
That's not a problem for me.
I think that the movie, if you watch the hat that I have is Fallout, which I think is the best movie.
Which one was? I feel like I saw Fallout.
That's the one most recent. Besides
No,
this
then
one.
that one I didn't see Fallout.
It's-
What
got-
is
it's
this?
got-
This is 7 or 8.
This was 7, so Fallout I think is 6.
Okay.
And so this is the one with Henry Cavill in it, who plays kind of the other agent in it,
Okay.
and he
I saw the
cocks his
first two,
forearms in a
definitely.
fight. He like cocks his forearms. He's like,
Does he really?
oh, dude, it's badass, and they're fighting in a. Yep.
Oh my god! And you went to another one after that?
Oh yeah. Oh, it was great. I was in. That happens like 20 minutes in. I'm like, we're in for a treat. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good.
What do you? Action. Do you like kung fu movies?
When I was a kid, I did. I haven't watched them in years, but I see there's usually more of a story, like
There
a
is.
revenge story. Is usually
Big
the
revenge.
base of it. So yeah, I did this. I mugged to the camera before with my mug.
Like I could deal with action. I just can't.
Yeah,
I do like story, but I would prefer. I prefer Quentin Tarantino style, where there's mostly dialogue, extreme blood,
Extreme violence.
extreme violence, but mostly dialogue.
I think that the Mission Impossible violence, the fight scenes, are less Tarantino and even less John Wick. They're more Jackie Chan style.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like he's kind of just trying to get out of the way. He hits him with a front. He's trying to subdue.
Yeah.
He's never trying to
like
kill
lighthearted.
kill the guy. Which is why they're only PG-13.
like Batman. Until the Dark Knights.
Would you call Pineapple Express an action movie, action comedy? Was there a lot of action? Was there enough action in that movie?
But I feel like most
comedies.
comedies always fall into that because in every comedy, a lot of it is physical comedy where
Like, it's a Hangover. Like, it had a lot of action in the Hangover. It just wasn't like violent action, but
to me,
it was
comedy
like
is
running around.
comedy, and there's bits of action in all comedy.
The thing about Pineapple Express, which is funny, is that if you recast that with action movie stars, it's an action movie. But because who
Right.
they cast in it, it's more of a comedy.
Oh yeah,
Like if you were to put like
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves and like
But
somebody
that last scene of Pineapple Express, have you seen it?
I haven't.
the
I did,
actual
but I don't
fight
remember
scene
it.
part.
No,
like,
when they're at the diner
oh
and
yeah,
and they're reminiscing. It's a genius movie scene, like, because they all the three characters were all like on their own thing. Like, this one was getting in a fight with this person. This one was so like they're at a diner the next day and they're talking about what they did and they're like, what? He's like, you killed the guy. he's like, I wrecked the car. Like they're shocked, like the actual how you would actually feel if you went through that thing. It was
Yeah.
like they were talking about that. I was like, I've never seen this in a movie before. It would be great if action movies.
I thought that was like a stoner movie. Am I wrong?
It is.
It is.
but
It is.
it's a
It
good
starts
movie.
out just like a stoner movie, but it gets like it progressively gets.
I gotta
like a
watch
bigger,
it. I think I watched it
I
years
watched
ago.
I
but
watched it
I've-
at the time, and then I haven't seen it.
I thought it was great. I thought that was a great
I-
it's
movie. yeah.
actually fantastic.
Yeah.
By the way, on Mission Impossible, I watched it today.
Yeah.
I'm not big on those movies either. But I went into it like I'm gonna buy into this stuff, and I was there for for an hour and a half. I'm like, all right, I see what this is. I'm enjoying it. Then I took a little break. I really enjoyed.
That's never a good sign for a movie, by the way.
That's just me though.
But then they're so
This
these
is
movies
almost
are so
3
long.
hours.
It's so long.
Was it long? I don't remember how long.
So
it
here's the
was.
thing:
I was
it's 2
riveted.
hours and
2 hours and
45
45
minutes.
minutes.
It's
Too
2:45.
short, I thought.
Get out of here. I love the train scene in the end though.
Yeah,
That one I
Yeah.
really liked.
I thought it was good.
Yeah. See, you didn't
But
love
I
that
agree
one.
with you.
No,
a
hold
movie I
on.
like. I can
Let me
watch
be clear.
in 6
I don't
hours.
think it's out of. I would probably put it on the lower end of the of all of them. Honestly, so that's what I'm saying. If you guys are
Okay.
starting at the first one I saw was this one that I have on my hat here for the folks from Mission Impossible Fallout,
was
which
the
I
first
never
movie
seen.
you saw?
I'd be
I never
interested
seen
in
any of
going
them.
back and watching them.
I
at
recommend
this
if you
point.
if you
first
watch
one's
that
the
one and
best.
don't like it, then you're out on the series. But if you watch Fallout and like it, then you do what I do: watch them in reverse order. That's what I did.
Interesting.
Well, I could watch them in reverse
Really?
order now.
Why?
Yes, you can. You start at the end.
Yeah,
you
because I
said you
started at
could,
the
yeah.
end.
Boom, boom, boom. Why did I do that? Because it doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying about
guess.
these movies. It don't matter.
yeah.
Also,
Equalizer, I watched Equalizer 3 first, and I'm going backwards. Same thing.
I thought there was some. It was funny too. There was some funny scenes in there that
So he's doing close-up magic.
Mission Impossible.
in Mission Impossible. Yeah.
I laughed at a lot, but I don't think it was intended to be funny.
Was it not intended to be funny?
After about 20 minutes, I can honestly say after like
Close up, man.
25 minutes of
close-up
that
magic,
movie,
yeah.
I got so over it that like he said he went to his phone. Like I
Yeah.
literally was like on my phone and it was background movie at that point.
Do you like how Ving Rhames in those movies, because he's been like in the last like couple of them, they can never, I mean, he's an older gentleman, he's kind of big, he can't really run. So they have to keep like.
Well, he was in the chair the entire movie,
Yeah,
right?
but there's a couple scenes in the other movies like where they're like they have to. It's Jeremy Renner is in one of them, and so's Tom Cruise, and they're great like on-screen runners. Like they get the fist pumping and everything, and then they have to like. But Ving Rhames is there too, so it shows them taking off all together. Then they cut to the two of them running.
Oh yeah.
But then they cut to them stopping, and then Ving Rhames is like hustling right behind them.
In what world was he keeping up with them?
I mean,
Yeah.
could you imagine? And
Yeah.
it's like I saw a thing where like Sam Jackson said famously, like in those Marvel movies, he's like, I will do whatever you want. I will not run on camera
Wow.
because I
Yeah.
can't make it look cool.
Yeah.
So I will
A lot
not
of
run.
hobbling, a lot
I'll
of-
sit in
yeah.
the chair. I'll shoot a gun.
And
I'll do
nobody's
whatever you
gonna
want.
believe that I'm keeping up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
That I have this
Doing high
stride
knees.
and I'm keeping up with
Jeremy
anybody.
Renner's fucked now. He's only got like one leg.
Is that right?
Well, didn't he get in? Didn't
He got into. I
made
think
a
he's
good
okay.
movie.
But I
though.
thought his leg. I don't think he lost it, but I thought his one leg was like fucked.
So they brought
Yeah, I don't know.
they brought him on in like the fourth movie to basically replace Tom Cruise. The same thing they did to him in the Bourne movies. They brought him on to like, okay, we're going to transition Tom Cruise out, and then Jeremy Renner will be the
He's
lead of
awesome.
Mission
I'm a
Impossible.
big fan of Renner.
I liked him, but then when they started making the movie, like and writing it and making it, Tom Cruise was like basically like, oh no, I'm not giving these up. Like this is. It became less about like the Mission Impossible franchise, and it's like, no, this is the Tom Cruise franchise. So you could in the movie and like in the plot, it's almost like Tom Cruise is like, yeah, I'm better than this guy, and then basically like continues on.
So wait, did he not know that going into this movie? Isn't this kind of like his thing?
Well, not at the time, because in the earlier movies they were always kind of wrestling back and forth. Like they did sometimes they would do better than others, sometimes they wouldn't do so well. But then as they started to get more progressively like bigger hits, and like he was able to kind of wrestle it down and be like, this is going to be my thing.
Yeah.
And then they were able to kind of put it together. So the fun thing about that is the Ving Rhames thing. But the other thing, you know, the one where he takes the motorcycle and he runs off the cliff with it.
How could we forget? Yes.
with the thing. So the big thing there, they're like, he did that in real life.
Well, that's the best thing about Hanks Cruise is he does his own stunts.
Tom Hanks does not do his own stuff.
I agree, and that's like impressive to see that, and you know, it's like the feat of wow, I can't believe they actually pulled
Doesn't
it
do
off.
anything for
It
you.
looks great on camera. I asked Neil this when we were watching Indiana Jones, and I was complaining about it, just action movies in general.
Yeah.
And I asked him. I said, well, I said, are you impressed with? I played you the clip.
it was a
of
great
this.
clip. Yeah.
I said, are you impressed with just the feat of being able to pull off this stuff?
Right.
He's like, no, because they have an endless budget. He goes,
Yeah.
it's just that, you know, it's like of course they can do this. Like they have all the resources possible to do this.
Right.
And he was like, if Jack Adams did this, I would be like, holy shit, how the fuck
right.
did he do this?
Right.
So I feel the same way. I'm like, it's not impressive because like I don't, and the practical stunts, sure, that's more impressive. I
Right.
can't believe it, but it's also like, yeah, but I can go on Instagram and look at
Agreed.
stunt, thrill seekers.
I
Just
agree
do
with
the
you
same shit.
100%. It doesn't do anything for me. I like these movies, but the fact that he actually did it, I don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
do anything.
Remember that Johnny
I just
Knoxville
don't-
movie he made where about like the amusement park?
Yeah.
Where the whole thing was that he was doing all the stunts.
Yeah.
And like for real, and so he'd be in a go-kart and it would fly off a hill.
Yeah.
And he got more hurt than like any of the Jackass movies. And like that was the thing. It was like
Yeah.
he did all of his stunts for real, and everyone was like, "We don't care."
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
like, it looks bad. Like you should have faked it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
like we want these just in Jackass form. Like
Mm-hmm.
we're okay watching them just like acknowledge
Because
that
it looks
they're just
fake
being-
in the movie.
Yeah,
It's like
right.
a polished movie. It looks
Yeah.
like you just faked it. So it's
Yeah.
kind of the same thing. I don't really care about that at all.
I think it's I don't blame somebody for liking these movies. My always thing I just they don't resonate with me.
I get,
That's
but
it.
You got to watch this one.
I'll
You watch
I'll-
this
I'll
one?
watch that
I'm gonna watch another one because
You watch this one.
I
Fallout.
surprised myself that I
What
I
bothers
caught up
me
with
is
the
that you're
whole
not recommending the first one.
well-
Because to me, the first one, I actually enjoyed the first
First
one.
one's that's
It's
a
the
Brian.
best.
It's a Brian De Palma movie. It's a different type of movie.
Maybe
than
that's
they
why
became.
I liked it.
That could
So
be.
wait, B, did you end up liking it? Did you enjoy it?
I gave it a I forget the grade, but it was a low grade.
Now you usually do. I heard on the podcast. You go out of 10.
Yeah. That's what we've been doing.
Yeah.
I realized what Ryan did.
I think I gave it a 5.5. But I enjoyed certain scenes.
That's
and
way better than that's way better than your rating.
Yeah.
Ryan rated him personally of what he like. If he thought it was a 2, like he rated it a 2.
Isn't that what we're supposed to do?
So like Barbie, I rated it. No, we are, but like I rated Barbie like, all right, I get why people would like it. So my personal rating was higher. Like I didn't shit on it because I realized there is a
Well, it should be your
But it should
personal
be your
rating.
personal rating. I understand wanting to do that. Like I watched Barbie going like, okay, I understand people like this. I get it's a good movie. I just like I wasn't even entertained by it, but I'm like, but I didn't really like.
I can
Barbie?
go back and adjust.
I didn't really care about
I think
that
it
much.
should be your this is your rating.
Okay.
It's not what other people.
Well, because I thought
The
we were trying to
objectivity of it,
predict
yeah.
what we thought that, like, not
No,
what I
we're
wanted
not-
to win, what I thought was going to win.
It's like if we were rating rappers, like I would be like, my rating for Kendrick Lamar, it would be 3 out of 10. But if we're talking about like
What a hot take! Hot,
I
there's another hot take right
Hot
on
take,
the
yeah.
quickly
Take
just toss
but
it out
but
the
I would
side.
but if I'm having a conversation with people like we need to talk about who the best rappers are today, I wouldn't be like, no, he stinks. I'm like, I understand why you're saying he's a great rapper. Like I understand all the foundation of that. Yeah, we got to put him on the list of great rappers. So you're
3
saying
out of 10. Yeesh.
I just
and that's a
Well, like
rough
Barbie,
Yeah.
I would personally, it was a 3.
Oh no, I'm talking
then
about the Kendrick
put it
Lamar
at a
take.
7
But
because I'm like, I get why a whole.
yeah, but this is your rating.
I
No,
don't
you're right.
understand.
I can
don't
go back and
understand
adjust that.
I don't
Because I
understand
thought-
that theory at all.
Well, my whole theory was I wanted to try and rate him what I think was going to win, not what I want to win. So I was trying to figure out, like,
But that's what we'll do at the end when we.
all right, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
I could double rate it. One what I thought it is, and then one what I
Yeah.
think it should be.
Would you bump your head?
No, it's a pimple gone awry.
Pimple gone awry.
Even,
a left
and
turn.
even the other way, like we were talking about zone of interest, like I gave it a 9, but I'm like, but in reality, that's probably maybe a 7 out of 10. But I like that movie a lot. Like I
9.
resonated with
I
me.
gave it a 9 or 9.
Did you see Poor Things yet?
No, I think I'm gonna go tomorrow night.
I have to see that.
All right,
theater.
because me and Chick want to
Yo,
go.
I'll go with you tomorrow night because I have a feeling my game might get canceled,
Which
and I want to go see
yeah.
it.
which brings me to another thing. I don't want you to forget. You got a little game controversy. You had to apologize to people.
Can I just bring up one?
Yes.
I wanted to just one quick. I think the
I
Mission
just want to
Impossible
keep
thing.
that on the docket.
The final line.
I got you.
You watch Fallout. If you don't like that Fallout, you're out. If you like Fallout, go backwards, reverse order.
Okay.
I like to keep things in order, though.
I'm trying to give you a little bit of taste. You know what I'm
So
saying?
why don't we do? We can do
Fair
Fallout and then say, do I want to go back to 1? How about
That's
that?
right.
Could you
That's
do that?
exactly-
I
do that
always
way.
feel like you appreciate later movies after you see the original because there's certain references to it, like that. You're like, oh, I appreciate that more.
But this you'd be all right without any
Okay,
rep. I saw
fair
it
enough.
quick. I want to just get one housekeeping from last week. I listened to the pod. Did you get your mom's credit card back?
Got it back the very
you.
next day.
How did you approach this? Because I was listening and I'm going, how are you going to? So for the folks at home
Yeah,
on the monitor,
the babysitters.
the baby monitor, you lost your credit card, your mom's credit card.
Yeah, lost my credit card
what an idiot.
7 days before that. I lost my mom's.
2 for 2.
Yeah.
You had to go back and say, can I have this credit card with a different name on it?
That's right. Yeah.
I was worried about that.
I think you should very well okay, walk us
Good
through
point.
it.
It's kind of
Walk us
shocking
through
that
it.
you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems
So-
impossible. It seems like you just.
First of all, we're bad podcasters. So we didn't even think to bring this up. And
Yeah.
also that question of, how do you get a credit card that doesn't
That's
have your
not
name on
yours.
it?
Well, you guys
Yeah.
brought up the great point, which was that if somebody steals it and starts using it, Brendan's sweet mother is going to be like, Brendan going out shop, good for him, get
Yeah.
himself something nice on me. And she's not going to realize somebody's stolen the card and
Yeah.
to stop it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then the second part is what we're saying now. How did you get it
So
back?
we recorded that on a Sunday morning, and they didn't open till 11:30. So as soon as we left here, actually outside of this podcast studio, I called the place, and the girl that was working that night, the one that found the credit card, I opened the conversation by saying, my mother was there last night. Which I was afraid. Which, by the way,
Gotta lie. He's just an idiot.
well, because of the name. It's because of the name. That's the only reason. But I also we were filming
No,
something
it's
that night.
actually genius. The way that's the approach. You have to do it.
You
that
have
way.
to do it
Yeah.
that way. I was like, I was there last time. My mother left her credit card.
Does your mother have the same last name as you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You're in the game.
So it
That
makes it
helps. Okay.
easier. But also,
I wish it was her.
when
maiden
she
name.
said, when she said, I was working last night, I was the one that found it, I was like, oh, she's going to realize I just lied to her because everybody that worked there knew we were, because we were filming something. We were filming like in a light show, a holiday light show. They turned on the lights at the holiday light show for us to film.
Oh.
So they were very cool there. So I already I had a good vibe from this place.
This is why you never lie. This is why you've.
Yeah, but
were the lights? Were there other people there, or like
No,
you set up for them to just put these lights on for you to?
no. So it was
It's a big production.
It was a holiday light show that they had going on all throughout the holidays, and we got there and it was shut down, and we asked them, we're like, listen, we're filming this thing. Is there any way that you could turn it on for us? We'll be only 7 hours, however long it takes to film.
And at the end of the night, I'll buy a hot chocolate. That's the
And I'll get
exchange.
the hot chocolate
Yeah.
and I'll leave
That's
my.
not cheap. That's those meters. That's a lot of lights. Those meters
So-
running just for you guys.
They were very nice. There's something I've noticed. We've done a lot of these filming in public places.
Mm-hmm.
If you just let people know you're filming something, most people are like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. We'll help you out.
Yeah.
And so that was it. But the girl,
I'll take
and-
your word for it on that one.
and I'm telling you, well, we did it at a bar the other night too. It was
Well, you know what
very
it is?
embarrassing.
You guys are older.
yeah,
and
well,
like
Jack's
look,
young.
and look. Well, he's not like. I'm saying he's not like a middle schooler.
No, he's not. But
So you guys look like, hey, maybe these guys are somebody of some.
Yeah, maybe
kind.
this
Yeah.
is going to give us some like publicity.
Maybe these guys are YouTubers, and we'll get like.
we were filming on the street in Sayville on Saturday night,
Mm-hmm.
and people just walk by and they're like, "What are you guys filming?" And we're like, "The Jack and Brendan show." Look, and you can see them; they just stay and
it up.
watch, and they like look it up,
That's
and then you can see they give us like 10 seconds, and they're like, all right, and they walk away.
Thumbs down.
Yeah, so I go 29 views. Yeah, all right, see you later.
About a subscription.
Yeah.
Come on.
So anyway, I basically said that, and she was like, "I'm not working tomorrow. I'll put it in the safe, but I'll let my employees know." So it just seemed like it was a small run place, and they just it because I was worried about that.
It's like a trailer. The place.
It's a trail. Yeah, but in the back they have like a whole ice skating rink. Yeah, it is a trailer.
So you said you
though.
were picking up for your mom.
I said I'm picking up for my mom. I went there the next day.
You're like, my mom forgets
I was like,
stuff
you
all
know-
the time.
you know how
What am I
moms
gonna
are.
do?
She needed her hot chocolate. Her fingers were cold.
This old bag.
And the guy gave it to me right away, no issues. And
I would say bad job out of that guy.
yeah, but I was the guy, I was the right guy, and yeah, didn't have to show any ID though.
Can I have a cupcake?
Of course.
Oh yeah,
What's going on with you tonight? You
you got low blood sugar or something.
I'm off the charts with. I'm just
yeah, this is.
Well, I feel like your wife was nice enough to send cupcakes over to us.
I'm having a cupcake at the end because I will get it in. I don't have a beard anymore, but I'll get it in my teeth.
I feel like we
will
should,
happen.
make a point of showing these. And we didn't talk about Chic last week. Brought us crumb cake. We didn't even talk about it on the podcast.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's all right.
You made crumb
No,
cake?
he brought. It was his birthday. He got birthday
So,
crumb cake.
My
was your
she's like a
birthday?
mother to me. It was on the first. She's a
Oh,
very close.
I did message you. Okay. I don't feel
Yes, you
bad.
did. You
I
did.
don't
No,
feel
no,
bad.
no. You messaged me.
Right,
Thank
right,
you.
right.
Very good friend of mine and my family's. She makes me a crumb cake usually every year for my birthday.
Love a crumb cake.
And her crumb cake, in my opinion, B couldn't taste it. I think it's the best crumb cake I've ever had. And I am infatuated with them. So
Very
I wanted
moist.
them to
It was
yeah,
very
it's
moist.
moist. It's
Now
amazing.
we're all gonna have this right now.
That's a good cupcake. Yeah.
If you guys are gonna
That's
do it,
that's
to
from
chew it
scratch.
to
That's
mouth.
from even the
this is from scratch.
icing from scratch and the
Icing from
cake.
scratch. You don't get that often.
That's
Your wife is top notch.
she's
She's
fantastic.
great. She's a multi.
Oh, you settle down with my wife over there. You settle down.
She's a multifaceted. She's very talented.
She's the best.
She makes t-shirt
She makes
t-shirt
t-shirt
quilts.
blankets. She knits.
Yep.
She does photography. She's a very successful,
Delicious.
independent
You
business
tasted nuts
person,
in that?
Podcast.
and not bad looking, if I may say so myself. And apparently Ryan will say so himself.
I'm keeping my mouth shut.
So, this past week, I coach third and fourth grade basketball.
Oh,
Yeah, I love it. One of my favorite things I do these days.
not for the school.
No, it's my nephew. It's like, younger kids, but
Yeah.
it's like the PAL. So, I'm the only coach there this game. Now, I don't argue or get mad with refs or anything, so nothing like that happened. but I have a terrible mouth. And around my own nephews, I don't care because they're my nephews. Like,
Sure.
Uncle Tom's got a terrible mouth. So when I'm in like competitive sports mode and like kids are doing good, I'm like, let's fucking go. So I must have dropped like 7 F-bombs during my game.
Oh my god!
Because we
The
were
coach.
playing awesome. But not out
On the
loud for
sideline?
everybody to
You
hear.
just-
No, when like the kids would come in and I'd be like, great fucking shot.
So how old are we talking here, kids? Wise?
3rd and 4th grade.
what
So
is
I
that?
think it's 9 and 10
Yes.
or 8 and 9.
That's okay, I think, right?
Well,
in the heat
listen.
of the game,
It wasn't in my era.
No, it's not.
attaboy.
It's ridiculous.
This isn't an attaboy.
It's absurd.
This is not what you do.
It's an absurd thing to do. It's not your call because you know there are parents there. There are parents there who aren't okay with that. Like
also
you can't
parents
assume.
going-
You can't assume like it's a big fucking deal. They can handle it.
But there's parents going, whose parent is that again? And they're going,
That's Robbie's uncle.
they're going, Robbie's uncle.
He's not a dad.
They're like a real uncle or like it's real close friends with the parents.
Yeah,
uncle?
right.
And they're like, I don't know.
So I actually agree with Ryan.
Yeah.
I'm like, when they get older, you curse.
right.
But at this age,
Well, I was trying to help you,
No,
but if you're not,
listen.
if you're on your own side, then forget it. It was horrible. Throw him out of the league.
because like, and I know a bunch of the parents, and I get along with them. They know me. They know how I like. They don't even care, and most of the parents don't care. But so after the game, I'm like, I dropped way too many F-bombs to the kids.
How many are we talking here?
It was like the kids had a great game.
They had a great fucking game. You know what are you gonna do?
So you keep track
It's
of the game.
almost like my adjective of whenever somebody did something like.
Well, we
great
got to mic him
fucking
up
shot.
for this. We got to mic him up.
Oh,
for this.
yeah.
Oh my god, we're still
my
mic'd up for you.
So
We
I'm
got
like, great
absolutely.
fucking
This is what
shot.
we have
And
to
I
do, yeah.
usually tell it to them like close, but there's a couple times we were right by my bench, and I'm like, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
And like, I drop them looking like the parents.
Yeah.
So we have a parent, like a team chat.
Uh-huh.
And I felt, I was like, listen, I get out. I said, the kids did great tonight. Like, my apologies, but they all were like, no, don't worry about it. Like, everybody was fine with it.
Yeah.
But I felt like an asshole. I was like, I had to at least apologize.
It makes up for like that. This what you did after is goes
That's-
a
yeah.
long way. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I told them, I said, listen, it's because I just get emotionally like I'm happy for them. They were doing great.
The fact that you're doing it in the affirmative means a big. If you were doing it in the
Exactly.
negative, you got it. You're out of it.
Yeah, you're out.
100%.
You're out.
You might get arrested.
Right.
You might get.
Yeah.
I might call it in myself.
That's
Exactly.
a
But like
can't
the kids love it because they, whatever.
Yeah.
But like,
Cursing's
When did
cool.
you start cursing? I had a friend who told me that when he was like, I remember said he was in 5th grade, and he's like, going into 6th grade, I'm gonna add one curse to my vocabulary, and like had a thought. And he's like, I'm gonna start saying this word now. Like this is my new thing. I'm gonna use a curse, and then every year he'd add a new one in until he became an adult. And then it was,
That's so funny.
but I don't know when that started. That was so I don't know if that might be.
I had
Third,
my
fourth,
cousins
yeah.
always like that part of
Chicks
my
like
family.
I came out cursing. My
Yeah.
first word was fuck.
Yeah. They smacked him on the ass. He
I
goes,
always,
go fuck
my
yourself.
mother put soap in my mouth when I was a kid. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, I was one of those kids who legitimately got soap in his mouth.
I can see that.
Can I comment on that? Because my daughter has not sworn yet. That's but
Not yet.
we wash our hands, right? And so I put the soap on her hands, and every time I put the soap on her hands to wash, she immediately goes to eat it off of her hands, and I'm like, this is really going to take away from. I don't even know if that is
Yeah,
like a viable
I don't think you do that
punishment,
anymore,
but I
yeah.
mean, you're
Buy
really.
a bar of soap and tell her that's what she's got to eat.
Oh,
But doesn't
yeah.
soap kind of look appetizing
it's
in a way?
delicious.
She was. Oh yeah. Every time I put it on her hands, she's like, "Here we go."
That's it.
yeah.
I remember like wanting to take a bite out of a bar.
At your
of soap.
daughter's
so-
age, though, they get they get it by their fingers
That's
and they
right.
start realizing they have things.
My
It's
daughter
like,
is. She has so much. She can talk so much. She knows
Already?
every word. This is why the swearing thing. You bring that up. I have to actually be mindful because she'll repeat every.
when they're
thing that I
that young,
say
it's
now.
cute.
Yes.
When they get a little older, then you have to start checking them.
I know,
Yeah.
but it's gonna happen.
Has she
I'm having-
cursed before?
Not yet.
Not yet.
But because I used to, say whatever, and then she was too little. But now I'm like, ooh, I actually got to.
Do you have a bad
it.
mouth though? Generally speaking, like, would you consider
Off
yourself?
public record, yeah, it's
Okay.
not great. But I like when I do stand up, I don't, and then when I'm like this, I probably try not to, only because of, I try to keep a clean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
squeaky
you
clean
on
image.
so I said I listened back to your first appearance, and you mentioned about not. Well, actually, you said would you ever do a podcast, and I think you had a podcast. No, maybe you hadn't done. You
It
hadn't
must have been
started
before, yeah.
You
It was
hadn't started
before,
the
yeah.
podcast. But you said you don't. You would be. You don't want to be afraid of what you would say in the podcast,
Right.
Is that because like the law degree, or like you don't want to be?
probably. And then
Yeah.
I am such a paranoid. Like I get very anxious. Like I get bad anxiety and stuff about stuff like that. So I don't want to be like worried about what I said.
Now,
About
what kind of law do
certain
you
things.
hope to do?
I don't know. I mean, I have a job now that I work in a legal setting, so I
Right.
think it'll just be kind of like bumping up in that office.
Right.
And I'll probably just do that for a while, and then maybe I'll do, do that going forward. And stuff
Yeah,
like that.
but if like one of your clients comes across a video of you being like, being crass, on
right,
a
I mean,
podcast,
probably nothing, but it's like but it's probably just easier because I think I could be like if I let it loose, then God knows what'll be.
right.
And then I gotta rethink it.
See,
I'll
I
be calling Ryan at like 3 a.m. being like, we gotta edit the Adult
cut that
Babies podcast. That's why I say where I mentioned Andrew Schultz. Take that out. I don't want to talk about his haircut. I'm trying to get on Legion of Skanks podcast.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
fragrant,
Flagrant.
fragrant.
Wait.
Imagine, I'm going to start a podcast called Fragrant where we talk about smells.
Smells.
You know, I love smells.
Yeah, well, I could do that podcast.
I could do that.
I think you're all right. I think if the parents, because it's in the positive, the problem is you've got to get out of that habit because if somebody misses or something, and then you drop an F-bomb, then you're going to be in trouble. You can't.
Yeah,
do
that would
it.
be the issue.
But I'm actually, that's the one thing is I'm not really a yeller. I don't really yell at my. I believe with kids I'm more of a let's
So you
try
run
and pick them up.
you running plays and stuff as a coach?
We are just starting to run somewhat of an offense. We have
fun.
one play off of inbounding under the basket that
Nice.
is working pretty well.
I just gotta hope they don't watch tape on that because they're gonna pick it
No,
up.
we could tell teams it doesn't matter. The great thing about this age
We
limit.
could tell teams what we're gonna run. We're gonna pass to number 3 under the board, just so you know.
So one team does the exact same play we did. We played them, so each team knew when they were
you
under
just
the
stole their
basket.
play.
No, they stole ours. Listen, we've been running it since day one.
Chick special.
It doesn't matter because most of the kids on the court are not observant enough to realize, like, oh, they're gonna do, like, even if they know it's coming, it still works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like not every time it works.
You
It's
block
there.
somebody, you put a pick on somebody, they ain't getting
That's what I
past.
said. It's
Yeah.
a pick.
Now, do you have like
we
some
have two
kids
guys
that are,
below who come and set picks for the two guys up top on
Yeah,
the top of
oh,
the key,
classic.
and then they come
That's
back, and there's an
classic.
easy layup every time.
in towards the hoop?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, do you have some at that age? Is there some kids that are like already 6 feet tall, and then some kids that are like real
So
small?
there's not really many tall kids in our league, but there's just a couple kids who are significantly better than others.
Yeah.
But as good as they are, because the overall league is still kind of in a mess to an extent.
Yeah.
They're like, it bunches up low in the key and by the basket. So even kids who are skillful still have trouble moving around the chaos.
Yeah.
Because it's just chaotic of kids who
Yeah.
don't know what's going on.
That's great.
So it makes for a lot of fun. I enjoy it.
I want to. We gotta go see him, Ryan.
wanna.
We
You
gotta
mic
do
that up, and then
I wanna mic him
every
up.
time he curses, you do a little ding. Ding.
Every time you
Even
see
when
me
he doesn't,
approach
just-
one of my kids with a big high five, it's always like, good fucking job. That's
Now-
what I got to stop.
Now, I got a couple more housekeeping things from
I love
for the
this.
babysitter. So,
course.
can I just say, I listened to the episode just recently, the one where Ryan describes the gift for his significant other.
Yeah.
And then it's the filthiest thing I ever heard. I was like,
really
what
is.
kind of podcast am I getting on this filth? Hilarious, but my God, I was like, it's gonna like.
Yeah, we
I
like
have
The
some lady
Hustler
friends who
podcast?
are quite, they were like, one of my friends was like, I just can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
good.
And then, but even more gross than that was on the last podcast. You said that you look at Instagrams of handwriting.
Yeah,
More gross than that.
yeah, I do. It's the algorithm. It found me. I don't know what to do.
Which I just assume is in a slightly sexual manner. I just can't think that. It's
No,
anything to
I
do
don't.
with it.
No, I don't mix the two. No.
He has these girls right
No.
with their feet.
I don't even like to mix my. I don't like to mix my ASMR videos with sexual stuff.
Oh, good.
You ever watch ASMR videos?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I like to go to sleep to an ASMR video, but I don't
What's
like
the
to make.
ASMR videos again?
It's like the
Okay.
sounds.
I
But
was thinking
sometimes, like,
something
there's a couple
totally-
of girls who do like them, then like they do sexy versions of it. I'm like, this is not.
What
this is
kind
not
of
for now.
like? What do you listen to it before? Because I could see how that's soothing.
I listen to there's one that's a Whispers Red, and she does one of my favorite ones that she does is she plays a librarian just checking somebody.
Again,
in.
this is not sexual.
no,
Okay.
no. She does. I like.
You like to be whispered to sleep.
Yeah, I like
very
suit
sweet.
fitting
Suit fitting.
role plays. Yeah,
It's a 44 long.
yeah.
Wait,
Or
that's
even-
what you go to
even-
sleep to?
Yeah, or even one she does one. She does a prom dress fitting. I listen to that one. I'm like, I listen to her talk about a prom dress.
So
Yeah.
you don't even
This is
care
the most
what they're...
sexual thing I've ever heard.
not- it's not
You don't
sexual
care
about
what
it.
she's talking about. You just want to
It's-
hear her
no,
voice.
I do like certain things that they say, like specifically. Yeah,
Like, look at the ruffles on
My word.
You actually do that pretty good. I might lay down some.
You could do you should do an adult babies
ASMR version?
Just like a little. little
But you got a good ASMR voice.
Thank you so much.
I feel like if you did ASMR and you mixed in like sexual things, like I couldn't go to sleep with a hard on.
You know what would be
jerk
hilarious?
off for it.
I don't feel like there's actually one Simone ASMR and she's like extremely sexy. Like she's hot. You know, she's got all the things you want out of a
That'll
woman.
do.
I don't like to watch her videos. I'm like, no, that's not what I'm looking for right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, could Chick do ASMR with your voice though? I'm not sure if
I would.
No.
I want
Try
to
to
do
whisper.
voiceover stuff.
No, voice over, but ASMR particularly where it's trying to be very, you know what I mean?
I would. Hey guys.
Yes, that,
No, that's just creepy. Oh my god.
By the way, it would be a fun podcast to have like an if I do ASMR and he just tells us stories like I was cursing at the Why do you think you were cursing? I don't know. It's just the way I
People will be on the levels of the volume, like turn it up, turn it down, turn it up.
All right. So the
yeah.
other note that I had was there was a lot of Wendy's talk. So I was actually going to bring Wendy's like a little further, but I brought the cupcakes. I figured that.
The
could-
That was
cupcakes
good.
were
No,
fantastic.
thanks
That was
so
very
Now
much.
you
good.
had mentioned a story where you had left your wallet at a Wendy's and went back to get it.
Yes.
Was this prior? Because I know you'd mentioned that the beard, the changes in your appearance, the
Yeah.
beard stuff. Like that. Was that in between?
No.
That was prior
Well,
to.
no, it was the week before I lost my mom's credit
Oh,
card.
okay. Because I was thinking it would be like very sad if like that you were like
And
then,
they
like,
couldn't
looking at-
recognize me.
Yeah. Because I had a buddy that.
By the way, I don't know if my ID looks
Let
like me.
So I had a buddy who had his ID when he was like 16, 17, longer hair, shaved face. Then by the time he went to China, like on a trip, and his passport picture was long hair. Now he's bald head, big beard, a little bit of weight gain.
Yeah.
They would not let him in.
Wow.
They were like, sorry. Like they
Oh
gathered
my
people around.
God.
They're like, sorry, we don't see it. We don't see it. It was a nightmare. So
I have
was
to
thinking- it
watch
was
out
funny
for that.
If you had that at Wendy's where they're just like, sorry, pal, this ain't
The
you.
passport's a whole
Wendy's-
different thing. I mean, you're going to Wendy's to pick up a credit card. It's like, yeah, what are the chances he knew it was here?
They barely gave a shit that
would
like,
I'm gonna start going to random places. I left my credit card.
Not
here.
a bad idea.
Yeah.
I have my credit card here.
By the way, you could have went there and they probably would have given
Apparently
you.
they're just giving
I'm
them out.
Brendan
But
Ryan.
On that note,
my
I think
mother's name.
the funniest thing that I heard on the entire podcast was Chick being insistent that they don't have Apple Pay at Wendy's.
I know.
Like being insistent, like
Yeah, no.
they don't have it.
Yeah.
And I think that should be maybe your secret code for the podcast,
Yeah.
where you're just like, you know what I mean, to show if someone's a real fan, be like, they don't have Apple, they don't have Apple Pay at Wendy's.
But also, this is the beauty of Chick. You have subpar people skills. But the beauty of Chick is he also
They don't have it, bro.
He swore he's like they don't have it.
Don't have it.
But then he also towards the end he's like, oh yeah, but I don't go in.
He
there.
went to one.
Yeah. No, it was a
I
drive-through. He
Yeah, he
came
only
out,
goes
it came
to the
out there. He goes,
drive-thru.
well, they're not having the drive-through. Yeah, nobody said that.
He's so adamant in like what he believes.
Because
and
I
then,
know what I'm paying on. Like I know every dollar because I have so little money that I know every dollar and where it is. So
Yeah.
when I'm buying things, I know like I can do like whatever.
But you know they do
Wendy's,
Apple
don't
Pay
have
now.
Right.
No.
They don't do
Chick,
it.
they do inside.
I'm talking about the drive-through there. They don't
Yeah,
use
but-
it. And
but
I
that's
doubt,
what's-
but most places, if they don't have it on the drive-through, they don't have it.
All
Incorrect.
right, maybe you're right.
McDonald's has a
But
drive-through.
that could be
Taco
like
Bell.
your closeout for the show. Be like, and remember, they don't have Apple Pay at
Remember-
Wendy's.
So how
Wendy-
about this? You guys are on the road a lot. Next time you find a Wendy's that has Apple Pay, text me.
All right,
How
fair
about
enough.
here's the bet? Here's the wager. If you go to a Wendy's,
I don't eat meat anymore, so I'm not going to Wendy's. But go ahead.
Oh, I think you get a
can
frosty.
get French fries.
You get a frosty.
Frosty and
Trying
fries.
to diet too.
Either one
You
of
could
you.
just go in and look. You have Apple Pay? Sorry.
No. Here's the gambit. Either one of you go to Wendy's, order whatever you want. Don't ask first. Order whatever you want. If they have Apple Pay, he's got to pay for it.
That's a great idea.
That's the gambit.
You got to Apple Pay me right now, so I would pay for this thing.
That's the gambit. Or reimburse them later.
Within reason?
Show them
yes.
the Apple Pay.
We could do that
receipt.
on the way home.
I'm ready.
normal
I'm ready to
lunch.
hand over production of responsibilities of the podcast to Ricky Grimes because I feel like content wise, he definitely helps steer us into a good direction.
Yeah, you can come back.
Yeah.
Next
Yeah.
week.
I'll just be I'm happy to be a fan. I think
Yeah.
I'm happy to. I'll just chime in.
Means
Yeah.
he doesn't want to do anything.
No, this
to
is
do with
excellent. No, I'd love to if
like,
I had
he's
the
a father.
time. If I had the time to do this, I'd have the time to do
No.
other.
We're very happy with our situation. You're a great guest, and we
Hey,
want
thanks.
to have you on more often.
We do. You
I hope-
have
I
an
hope
open
that's-
invite.
I'm happy to do
As
it.
soon as I hooked up with this podcast, I thought to myself, how long do I have to wait before we get Ricky Grimes on the podcast?
Well, I was
and your
assuming
girlfriend at
you
the
were
time was
going to
like,
book him.
"Shut up."
Shut up about that damn
we
Ricky.
ended, before I started this, I ended this.
I assumed you were going to book him.
Well, we were in talks a
That's
while
what I
back. We were in
figured.
talks.
So do I?
We were trying to
did
figure
I
out a
just
date.
did I already text him while you were already talking to
No,
him?
this is a. So let me bring this up. I think are we gonna wrap it up?
No,
Is
it's
it-
fine.
okay.
We can talk about this.
So, Chick, I think it was when I said happy birthday to
Yes.
you. He goes, "Hey, you should come on the podcast." And I was like, "Sure, I'm actually, I have some free time and I can make it work on certain days." And so we were negotiating back and forth, and then we booked it for today. And then I shot Ryan a separate message, and I was like, "Hey, I'm sure this is all kosher, but let me just double check to make sure the Chick hadn't gone rogue." And like, I show up to
That's
Ryan.
a very smart thing. Anything that
smart.
I showed
comes
up to
from
the
me
studio
should be
To show up,
checked.
like, who the fuck? What are
Yeah,
you
yeah,
doing
yeah.
here? Yeah.
Yeah,
Guys, by the way, we got Ricky today.
because you guys are so kind, you probably would have just been like, "All right," but then like Chick would have been like, I had to make sure that it was like
He actually
all on
told
the same
us
page.
multiple times because he was afraid. He told us once. We put it in the calendar. Then he told us again 3 days later. He's like, "Hey, Ricky Grimes on Monday." Yeah, you told us.
Yeah,
It's-
okay.
It's
Yeah.
in both of our
We
calendars.
both
right?
had it in our calendar.
hilarious.
I am like
That's
the kid
so funny.
who's scared to mess up with them, so I like to double check.
No, you're not.
Well, I don't mind getting in trouble. I've never been scared
In
to get
trouble.
in trouble.
He gets in
But I
trouble.
don't
Yeah.
like to I try to avoid it.
Yeah.
But once it happens, I'm like, oh well.
So I confirmed it. I was gonna do a third one, just be like, "Hey, are you aware of it too that I'm coming?" I don't want to.
Yeah,
Brendan
we're-
comes say, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah, I didn't know. Ricky, we had him on 4 years ago.
Yeah, we never said never again. Never again. But no, I'm happy to do it.
We'd love to have you on.
Are there any phones off the hook, as they say right now? I feel like there's like things we talked about, like topics we brought up and we didn't close
no,
out.
no.
So you gotta hang up the.
You guys are gonna
hang up
watch
the phones.
Fallout.
Yeah.
We're going to watch Fallout.
We're
We're
be-
going to try to...
I'm gonna get back to doing comedy, and then I
Well,
can.
that's what
and
I.
the
When are
people
you?
can be
Is
mean
that
to me
really going to
about
happen
my-
though,
So,
or is that
yeah.
a teaser?
I was interested to know, like, are you going to be a Gary Goldman or one of these lawyers who like becomes a lawyer, then they quit being a lawyer to
Well,
become a stand-up comic?
It's whatever comes for. I saw this Rick Rubin clip, which I know everyone says that 100 times with some sort of quote from Rick Rubin, but he was basically saying like it's probably better to have some sort of stability and then.
I just saw that, yeah.
You saw that same thing.
Yeah.
Then do the other thing, and so like the passion, whatever it is.
Yeah.
The problem with stand-up comedy is so frustrating. Is like you actually have to like be out to do
Yeah.
it to be considered like viable.
You
working.
can write songs at home.
Like I've been writing for, I've been not a regular stand-up for maybe 2.5 years now, and I got tons and tons of stuff.
Yeah.
I've probably written more than some of the comedians that you see in the
Definitely.
local
You
scene.
need to practice it. It's
But
like
no one considers me like an active stand-up because I'm not out at the. I'm not out, even though there's like I said, there's people that have gone consistently and not wrote a single new thing. So it's just like that weird thing about comedy where it's like you have to be,
That's why I said a couple episodes back, I want to record a special just here in my basement. I want to load this up with 20 chairs. I want to stand there. I want to
Dude.
do my jokes to 20 people, 20 of my friends and family.
Oh my
and that's I just
God.
want that's it.
you got
And
your
just
opener.
put that out.
Fuck
you
me.
know?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I would love that so much.
Yeah.
That'd be so great.
You know?
Actually-
I love it.
Now you got to have that sort of time. You could do that too if you want. No, it's not a joke. I'm saying he's got.
No,
you could do what? Probably.
Absolutely.
What are you
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
now,
That would be
lengthwise?
hilarious.
I'm doing a half hour, like on like road gigs.
Let's
half
But
hour.
you
Film
don't
it.
have. Where are all your clips?
I
Thank
know.
you.
Where are
Let's
your
film it.
clips?
Let's
Thank
film
you,
it even
Ricky.
just for clips.
I'm so
You know what
bad.
we should do,
Genius.
Ryan? We should start just to make it also like a going out and just whatever shit to do. Go start recording his clips on when he has shows.
I'm so bad with that. By the way,
he's not
I
gonna
told
do it.
him months ago. I said, if you ever want
You
me to
did.
come record something, let me know. I'll
Need the
I'll show up.
clips.
I'll
Need the
record you.
clips.
by
And
the way,
for you, so you're not sitting there solo. I mean, not that I'm your typical
Yeah.
like you want to keep company, but
But
I'll
I
come and
think
hang
we
out.
could load up this room right
No,
here.
I'm
We could
telling
have
you,
you do half
That is
hour
a genius,
and
it
pull
would be
clips.
so fun. It'd be so fun because it'd be almost like a studio audience. It would be kind of like you kind of game in the system. Like no one's
That
not
would
going
be
to
a lot
not
of fun.
laugh, but your material is so
Low
you're-
ceilings.
You're
It's,
great.
it's good for sound in here.
And your material is so good, like it's not like people are gonna have to force to laugh. Like it's really funny, and you
Yeah.
could structure
Yeah.
it like 30 minutes. Like you could do a full like lay it out
up.
perfectly, do it exactly how you want. You get the vibe in
You do
here.
it for 30 minutes with the hopes of getting a bunch of clips. If you don't get clips you like, then we had a fun night where you did a bunch of
I'm
comedy in front of-
gonna record 30
Little
minutes.
after party?
I did record the one time I was at the Pear a few weeks ago, and they have like the built-in where you could
Okay. Oh,
yeah,
record.
sure. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, good. The crowd was it was kind of a light crowd, and I was like,
We got to get you some clips from the pair.
all right. But anyway, I usually there's like an audience underneath where the clips are, and I'm afraid to like go and do it. Mm-hmm. And so it was a light night, so I did it. and I bombed so bad. I called Chick after. I texted Chick and Pat Dunn. I was thinking of. I have the video of it. I was like, it'd be fun to like play some of it on the podcast, and we can
I would love
criticize and show how awful.
I'll
it was.
play. I told you I pulled up my first set ever, so we can play some of that.
We can
too.
do
It's
some of
awful.
that.
So embarrassing.
And then we could just play my best set ever, and it'd probably be just as good.
yeah.
I think if you did what they said you do it here, I think that would just be
I would-
so
yeah.
awesome. Because that's the fun thing about comedy. You can do it. It doesn't have to be. All you need
It
is
can
one
be
mic.
anywhere, yeah.
Be great.
All you need is one mic. That can be the what your walk on music would be Nas.
That's what I'm
one
saying. You
mic.
could do what you could add. You could have lights. Get it really cool. You know what I mean?
I want to say Kendrick Moore is better than 3 out of 10. I just want to.
God. Have you
talk
been
about
sitting there
talk
thinking
about a
about
phone off
Kendrick
the hook.
That's what the phone off the hook was.
Yeah, it was.
You
Yeah.
wanted to correct
Yeah,
yourself.
I think he's better than
3 out
that.
of 10.
He's better than that. I don't like him. Like I understand why
What do you
people
steal
like
your
him.
parking spot? Or
Can I
it
say
just-
one
it
thing
just
with
doesn't
rap?
do anything
There's
to
certain
me.
people who I don't care if someone thinks is good. I'm like, no, they're trash. Like, there's
Yeah.
nothing about him that can be.
Well,
good.
you know what's interesting? We all I think agreed that because I got my Griselda sweatshirt on. You can see the Benny the Butcher album. I think we all thought was not that. We're not that impressed with it, or did you
Wait,
like
the
it?
newest one?
Yeah, did you?
Yeah.
Not,
I loved it.
Oh, you
Chick
liked
loves
it, Chick?
it.
Oh,
Chick
okay.
loves it.
All
Yeah,
right.
we
we agreed that we
that
thought it was kind of. Not that it was
Yeah.
bad. It was not bad.
It's his first Def Jam release, so he got a lot of Hit Boy songs on there. But I didn't
Yeah, but-
listen. It's not my favorite album of his.
But the Hit Boy, Burden of Proof, the one that he did with Hit Boy originally, I think
amazing.
I think it's way better. Than
Oh,
this.
that's. I personally like some of his older stuff better, but I did enjoy this album a lot. My issue with this album was he released so many songs before it came. Like, so there was like 3 or 4 singles.
Lil Wayne song stinks.
I like his verse.
Yeah.
I don't love. He doesn't like Lil Wayne. I'm not a huge
not a
Lil
Lil-
Wayne
I'm not a
guy.
huge Lil- Oh, are you really?
I'm not. I like
Oh,
some
yeah.
of his. I'm not a huge Lil Wayne
song
fan.
stunk, I
So
thought.
like I don't love Lil Wayne's verse on that. I think he's great on that. But neither here nor there. I just think when they release songs like that, right? And I thought they released a couple good ones.
Mm-hmm.
Now when I listen to the album, like the songs that you already pre-released to me aren't even the album now.
Yeah.
Like it just feels different. Like I already know it, so it's not a new listen.
I have to stop myself. Like when A$AP Rock releases a new music, he usually puts out 3 singles before the album drops.
Yeah, I don't like
and
that.
I have to force myself not to listen to it because when the album comes out, I want to be able to listen to it straight through and feel like those songs.
Because I like to
are in the
hear how
same
the whole
feeling.
album fits,
Yeah.
how the songs fit
But if
on
it's
the album.
if it's a good enough album, but I end up never doing that. I end up over listening to the songs, and
Yeah.
I go skip them. But if you get put a little distance in between after 4 months, then then you look back and it's all one album again.
Yeah.
You just need to give it that
Essentially,
space.
not watch the trailer before the movie. That type of thing.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
what I
I
like.
just like sometimes I don't. I prefer not to have so many singles.
I agree with you. I agree
Yeah.
with you.
We haven't even talked about the Super Bowl.
I know.
We're like, yeah,
I
We're-
bogged
we-
this
we've
down
gone-
with the-
but you're a big gambler, though, right?
Wow, you know that's I don't know if that's for is that what are you FBI? What
You
are
post.
what are you, a cop? What are you, a
It's
cop?
fully legal
No,
now.
I'm just kidding.
But you post a lot about it, so I was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
curious.
yeah. I
yeah.
think it's so fun.
Wait, why do I not see any of these posts?
I
on
post
it?
like some jokes about it. I think I wrote yesterday the for gamblers the Super Bowl is.
Wait,
their-
is this on Threads or something
Let
else?
him finish
Threads
the
and I'll
joke.
repost
Why
it.
did I
They
see
stepped
this?
all over
Yeah,
my
yeah.
joke. I posted on my story. I'm not probably. I posted. I go. I don't know what the hell was it. What it was. Right, it was that. Oh, for gamblers, the Super Bowl is their Super Bowl.
their
Yeah,
Super
which-
Bowl,
That
yeah.
was funny.
Now I talked over you.
Yeah, but
Trying to
that's
tell it.
basically the joke. But I like gambling.
But you do a lot of like Tony Soprano
yeah.
gambling memes.
Well,
Yeah.
I bet like a degenerate gamble with very small.
That's what
amounts.
I've been doing.
Yeah.
Did you bet on the coin flip?
Yep.
I did.
Would
I
you-
lost
did-
it.
Tails never fails except
I
for
do
last
tails
night.
every
Failed
year.
last
except
night.
for
Failed last night.
So we did, yeah. So
brutal.
we had a little get together and we did 11,
invite.
11 prop bets,
Yeah.
and just like $1 each. So it was like just to keep it interesting. So yeah, how long is the national anthem going to be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
We-
hit-
we did what's Usher's first word going to be? We did that whole.
What was it?
Ended up being just one of the songs. It was what's the first word? It was the bet was what's the first word he's going to say? It ended up being what, because that's the first word of the song. That
Song
he did.
lyric, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, usually the national anthem, it's like the length.
The
and
length,
I
yeah.
saw Reba come out. I was like, take the over quick. Before it
that's
goes.
what I always
was it
like to
under?
know.
I hit it. I was a second off. I won that one.
Was it
yeah.
under or over?
What was it?
I was
2
I guess 136, or I guess 136. It was 135 maybe, or vice versa.
Yeah.
I was a second off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did one on the 13th drive of the game. They
Oh
would
my
kick
God.
a 53-yard field goal.
Oh my god.
That's a deep
$7 bet. I hit $140.
That's degenerate.
But now let me. The one thing I will
that seems
say,
like not a big enough payout for that.
The problem with that is
because you can't do so. It doesn't let you pick the 13th drive before the game starts. They just label the numbers. So I knew it was the next drive coming up, and I just picked 50-yard field goal this drive, and they hit a 53.
You know what's funny is I'm just not that good of a sports watcher to do that bet. Honestly, like,
What do you mean you don't watch?
I don't. You know what's so funny? I don't watch sports at all. I listen to a lot of
really?
sports talk radio, like podcasts.
So you bet everything before, no live bets or anything.
No live
like
bets.
That.
I'll bet on a game and then I'll check like 2 days later. Be like, what was that? Did the Knicks win? What happened with that game? I'm like it's so weird. I don't know why. I listen to a lot of sports talk radio and then I don't watch the games because I find it kind of boring.
So did you only
guy.
start betting when it became on the phones and the apps and stuff?
Yeah.
You didn't have like a bookie before that.
No. I'm a square.
See, I was a degenerate with a bookie for years.
Really?
Yeah.
No, you kidding me?
Really? Your voice would imply that's not possible.
Really? Everything about you. It's completely shocking to me.
Some things about you are so surprising that some things are just so obvious.
So
Yeah.
on the nose. Yeah.
Part of the reason why I still live at home.
It probably it is.
I lost a
Do you ever
lot
have,
of money.
Do you ever have any trouble with the? Do you ever like?
Oh yeah,
came
not
looking,
like where I
came
had.
looking?
No, I never had anybody come looking, but I had a lot of loans and.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Loan shark to pay the bookie
No,
type thing?
not loan shark. Literally going to loans and friends and getting money.
Oh, so you had a.
Oh, I was a bad gambler. Yeah.
Oh
degenerate.
man. Okay.
Yeah, there was some
Absolutely
issues
terrible.
my.
Now I haven't gambled for years, and now I
He's
do.
back,
it.
baby.
But now it's all you have to pay up front. See, when I was gambling and I was bad,
Oh, you would.
it
put
was
a-
like Monopoly money.
Yes.
So like
Give
your
me
bookie
this.
gives you a week, and then it's like at the end of the week, or 2 weeks, whenever he really wants. It's,
How did they ever allow that though? Because
You
you're
mean,
dealing
who
with,
allows
like,
it?
the bookie. Why would you ever
'Cause they're
give a
gonna-
line of credit to somebody who has no
Because
like?
they get their money.
Well, they're gonna juice you. They're gonna run. You're always gonna have to pay them. They probably won't get everything up front, but you'll have to pay them. You get $100 a month from this guy for the
Listen,
next
they're
30
all
years.
and,
So
and
like
if
that.
most degenerate gamblers, I mean, listen, every once in a while somebody may beat you, and you're not unless you want to kill somebody, like if you're not dealing with whatever. But some places just the house wins, even if one
House always
person
wins.
beats you. Most people are still going to pay, and like I was never going to stiff them. I knew who they were. They were kind of friends, like I was friends, like they were kids.
Yeah.
I grew up with.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a poser in that regard. I do find the gambling. It's one of those things. I like the gambling culture to be very interesting and kind of romanticized. But when you're a fella of Chick's history with it, it becomes a
No,
little
I still
more.
love
Yeah.
It's a start. It's fun, and then now I do it because
I think you're the.
I used to
apps
do
have
it
helped
as
him.
like I'm down. I need to pay this bill or that, and I would bet big and like trying to like.
Oh,
make
really?
I was
Like
just,
that?
No, but not. I was just betting every dollar that came in.
Right.
Was going out or trying to maximize.
You were chasing it.
Yeah, I was chasing.
You were chasing it.
And you think
This-
this is
Good
why
after
you
bed.
might still be at home with your parents?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying because there's a lot of other reasons.
You said maybe, but yeah.
It's because it's not
There's a-
all.
oh, it's-
There's
yeah, it's a
other,
lot of-
jobs.
yeah.
I had jobs, like there's a lot of other things that are in play. My anxiety also is
If I was a financial advisor, that might be
50% because of
thing
gambling,
you-
25% my self-destructive other vices, and then 25% anxiety.
And what's and the other 5 is
Whatever.
Wendy's not taking Apple Pay. I gotta pay.
It's Wendy's.
I gotta pay cash to the gosh. Goddamn Wendy's.
I won $1,000 last night.
Really?
On
Right?
What'd you do?
We do like a pool like with all our friends. So
Boxes?
it wasn't boxes.
It's a pick'em sheet. We pick
Yeah.
every game for the year.
Oh, okay. Is
So-
that
It's
the one where you,
cumulative at the end of the year.
and you
So it
can't
was
pick
a
the same
playoff.
team twice?
It was a play. It was.
No, you pick every single game.
Every
who's
game.
going to cover the spread? We do it. It's literally.
Are you kidding?
It's about $500 to get into the league, with the playoffs included.
So did you win?
Well, so the season is one thing that's over, and then we do a second for the
Yes,
playoffs,
he won
which is
the
a little
playoffs.
less. So I won the playoffs, which ends up being $1,000.
Fantastic.
So it's
Wow.
big one for me.
So you got to guess. You guessed the whole bracket.
I did very well early on picking the playoff, and you get like
You pick the over/under on the game side in every single game. Whoever has the most wins at the end of this playoffs.
and you get like a
wins.
lock, So like last night the Chiefs were. I was
You're
up by
trying to
1
make it more
point.
confusing than it needs to be.
Sorry.
You know, I met a couple people yesterday. I was at a Super Bowl party. We did like live boxes, like for the Super Bowl. Like you
Yeah, I
roll
love
dice.
those.
They didn't understand. Like they didn't know they couldn't figure it out. I was like, they're like older people. Like they never knew what the boxes
Oh, really?
meant, like with the numbers on the side.
It's
and
100
everything.
boxes.
I couldn't.
Until second.
The numbers.
Oh, you're
and
making it
stuff
more
like that.
confusing.
Yeah, I thought it was. I bet the Chiefs plus 1.5. That's the only thing that I won. Every other bet I lost. All my boxes.
That's what I won.
tails.
Well, I also won some on the apps too.
A little bit of this. A little bit
He
of
won the cumulative. It was a mix of 4 weeks. And how much did you win by though? Did you had it and you needed KC to cover to win?
I was up already by one point, I guess.
Yeah.
And I had KC as my lock.
Did you
which
have
counts as
one
two.
plus 1.5 or 2? Because it went to 2.5
Wait,
right
was
before
it
the game.
2.5?
It was 1.5 because my buddy picks the lines. He did that one probably a week before the game
Yeah.
started because he has to send it
Because
out
it jumped
and
to
let everybody
2.5
get.
like right
did.
before it started.
But he also to not have ties, he won't do an even number. So if let's say the line was 2, he would look and see where most paid, like what most bookies have it at,
Yeah.
and then he would pick it like 2.5.
Oh,
or
really?
1.5.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. So I was happy. It was a fun Super Bowl too. It was also my mom got COVID, so we were supposed to have like a Super Bowl party at my parents' house.
Yeah.
So I found out last week. My mom called me. She had COVID and
And no credit card.
no credit card.
What'd you end up doing?
I stayed home.
You should have came over.
I was already there in the morning. Here in the morning, I thought about it.
Yeah, you were.
But
already
you know,
here.
at that point, I actually the first time ever I watched it alone by myself, and it was
Nice.
wasn't bad.
You should get to hear. Like I missed a lot of the
Yeah.
I like the fan. I like the
I do
commercials. I
like-
like
for
to know. I like to have the conversation the next day. We watched the halftime show, which I was like, people were like, oh, this halftime Usher's gonna
I
suck.
thought it was good.
I thought he was
good.
great.
Oh, I
it was
didn't like.
good.
I thought it.
I thought he
didn't
was
like
great.
it, yeah.
That's fine.
And I was like, I was defending him. Like, I think he's got the hits. I think he could put on
What
a good
did you
show.
like about it? The
I
song
think
choice?
the song choice, like he did like a bunch of ballads. I'm like, you're slowing it down for the Super Bowl show, and it was more of a dance show than it was like a
because
musical performance.
I didn't like that he didn't even really like. It's like he wanted you to know every song that was his,
Mm-hmm.
but he didn't want to sing any of the song. So he would sing like
A lot of
the
teasers.
opening line
Yeah.
to it, and not even give you like a 10-second like whatever.
There was
to
like
it.
there was 10 seconds of
25
10
songs. Yeah,
it was like
I agree with that.
But that's kind of what they
pick
normally.
pick your 4
Yeah.
bangers.
I'm with you
perform
on
those all
that.
the way out.
Yeah, but they haven't done it like that in a while.
Or
They
at least
always-
give me
I-
a little bit.
I
He
wish they
wasn't
would-
even giving you anything.
like Rihanna's last year was almost like a DJ set where it's like I'm playing 20 seconds blend.
But I don't like when DJs do that. I hate when DJs like. I hate when DJs like are showing off their like play the song. I'm on the dance floor. Play
chorus
the whole
and then
song.
a remix and then a different beat.
Yeah,
and an acapella.
like let me hear
Yeah,
the
people
song.
want to sing along, especially with Usher with a nostalgic feel like that. Like, I'm not, like, listen, I get it. You're not for people to sing, but like every time you got into something or you thought was coming, it would go to
Switch it up.
something
Yeah.
else, and he'd switch it up.
I
He'd
thought
be
it was
like,
fun. Like he's playing like my confessions, and I'm like, this is literally a song. Literally, he was confessing to his girlfriend that he cheated on her. I'm like, now you're performing this during the Super Bowl.
I
It
hated
was like-
that
It was
song.
like a sentimental thing. I like the song when it came out, but not the Super Bowl. It's like
Well,
this is
this is-
supposed to be
yeah.
like imagine it
should've did-
was to the TLC, the girl from TLC
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
he cheated on.
Yeah.
Chili.
Imagine like Chili. Imagine Chili watching this and be like, oh, this was like this was supposed to be like a nice song for me to like confess your things, and now you're like playing it on the Super Bowl.
Do you want to hear
takes
my?
his shirt off. Like, what are you doing?
Well, look great. But do you want to? Do you want to
Yeah.
hear my one conspiracy theory?
Yeah.
You saw the one. You saw Jermaine Dupri popped up for a second and just said
Yeah.
like, "Hey, everybody," and then that was it.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, he was there for like
He
one
was
second.
wearing like the tuxedo with
He had
shorts.
like a
Oh,
tuxedo
you know
with
what? I
shorts
saw
on.
him, and I'm like, who's this guy?
It's Jermaine
Yeah.
Dupri. He pops up. He's like, "Hey, everybody, put your hands in the air."
It looked
I-
like CeeLo Green too. By
I
the
thought
way.
That's
too.
what somebody
Yeah.
said.
They
I think my
kind of
sister goes,
kind
"Who's
of
that?"
like panned like from the. It was not a flattering angle. I think that was supposed to be a different producer / hype man of some fame
didn't make it.
who is now disgraced in society.
You think it was Diddy, and they just threw him in?
Yeah, because they plan these things months and months.
Yeah, yeah.
I think they were like, "Oh,
But what
that's
connection did he have?
He was
Produced half of Usher's beginning.
he was
all
around.
Diddy.
I mean, that's why a lot of that. And I don't get sued by the Diddy estate, but there was like he was around for Usher's early career, and a lot
He wasn't
of
a
these,
Bad Boy though. He was
No,
just
he,
he was just part of
started
his.
Usher's career.
But he did the same thing with Justin Bieber too. Where Diddy?
Well,
he would,
Usher
like-
did. Usher.
No, but Diddy would like hang out with Justin Bieber, like and like invite him over to his house and stuff. Same thing with Usher. Like he like kind of took these like younger men in, like, and that was kind of part of like the sketchiness. But so he did have some involvement. I think they have some songs where he basically is just like, "Hey, everybody," basically what Jermaine Dupri did. So I have that's my little
I think
conspiracy
interesting.
theory.
They
Because
would
Jermaine
have much
Dupri, God
rather
bless
have
him, is
Puff
not
Diddy, Puff
yeah.
Daddy than Dupree on that.
He's a legend, but he's not.
Yeah, but
you
then
know.
they had it was like almost like an Atlanta thing. They had Ludacris.
Yeah, and Jermaine Dupri is from that scene.
It's, Conspiracy theory. That's all I'm saying.
Jermaine Dupri is like one of the three phases to me of the death of rap music.
Yeah,
Like-
well, yeah.
Like
But I don't even
he-
associate Jermaine Dupri with rap music. He's like the Brat and little fucking
Yeah, but that
Bow
era,
Wow.
like that was the
Oh.
era when I
That whole
turned my
Atlanta
eye.
scene,
I
though.
was. Yeah, to me, that whole era was like when like this is all shit,
Yeah.
and I was out of rap. Like I was like, that's when
That's when you
it forced me
tapped
to
out.
find underground rap music because I'm like, I can't listen to this.
Yeah.
There must be something out there that's good.
I hate Jermaine.
I'm going to
Dupri.
defeat
Yeah.
my whole
Yeah.
argument though, because Jermaine Dupri wrote that Confessions album. Jermaine Dupri basically wrote that whole album. He produced it and wrote that whole album.
Yeah.
He also that Mariah Carey album with.
He's not talented.
Yeah.
I just don't like it. I
Yeah.
said
But
rapping
like
wise,
R&B,
he's trash.
like he's in the Songwriters Hall of Fame because he did that and he did like a lot of Mariah Carey albums. Like he's not in
Right.
for he ain't in for
He's
jump.
more of a producer than he is like
Crisscross will make you jump.
Right.
Yeah,
He did that.
He's
Right.
all
He
about
did, yeah.
production. He's a producer, Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah, but
and
I never liked anything he produced, like his
And
production.
you know what
like-
else did? Little Bow Wow. Those were
That's
two
what I
big
said.
hits.
Little
Yeah,
Bow Wow and
yeah.
the Brat he was all over every the Brat
And them
thing.
Franchise Boys.
Them franchise.
That's right.
boys.
This is like I wanted to do a podcast with Ricky Grimes, because I feel like we agree.
Check, we're out.
We no, we
just got
I
fired.
realized our music thing's never going to happen either because of this guy.
Before we even did a podcast, I'm like, this is a guy, because as much as you said we disagree on movies, I think we agree on movies a lot too.
Sure.
We both like rap music, and we like similar comedy. I feel like we have a lot in common.
Yeah.
From what I see.
But this is why your girlfriend was so jealous.
Yeah, she's so.
And your podcast partners are getting kind of jealous too now.
We were supposed to get off 20 minutes, and now it's just down to him like, all right, B, you want to go?
I'm wondering why we're getting to like 2 hours here. It's because Ryan doesn't want to say goodbye to Rick.
Before we go, Ricky, you want to hang out for a little bit? I got a
fine,
good
I'm
movie.
done.
We're doing
shutting my
activity
mouth.
hanging. No, this is really fun to hang out with you guys.
Can you
We do this all
whisper to
night.
him before he goes to sleep? Yeah, let's make a mold of Ricky for you.
But I was telling Ryan before I came, I'm happy to be here. I think that you guys are on a roll with this thing. I was listening to I'm getting caught up on the last couple episodes, and you guys are killing it. It's really
Thank
fun.
you so
We
much.
appreciate that.
Honestly,
And you won
Ryan
that-
has been such a huge help in all of this.
Well, without a doubt. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think you.
It
I had the cameras and lights. That's all I did.
nah, you do more than that. You do more than that. You know,
You give
do.
us a third voice.
You wouldn't have won that award without the.
well, the award, you could look right this way.
That's right.
Well, who nominated you?
Yeah. And I voted.
Did you know,
so I'll
we're
take a little bit
did you
of
know we're
credit.
automatically nominated for next year?
Are we?
Yeah.
Yeah, the winner gets automatically
Oh,
nominated for next year,
beautiful.
so you don't have to do that clerical work.
I mean, well deserved, folks.
Yeah, thank
well
you
deserved.
so much.
Ricky, it
Thank
was a
you, Ricky.
pleasure to
Thank
have
you so much
on.
for having you.
Yeah,
Have you
Rick.
back real soon. Not
Yeah.
soon enough as far as I'm concerned. I don't care.
I'd like to thank Mug Root Beer for having me.
Yeah. Proud sponsor of the podcast, Mug Root Beer.
For all the babysitters on the monitor.
I like
right.
that. Yeah. That's
All right,
cute.
guys, and remember, Wendy's doesn't have Apple Pay.
I'm going to take you to Wendy's now.
We'll do it.
Are you taking a picture of this? Or is that a video? A video? Good. Let's go see. You're going to do it. I'm not using it.
How's it going? Do you guys have Apple Pay?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. I'll have number one, just a sandwich. What do you want? I'll get you. What do you want?
We get a spicy chicken combo.